Chapter 890, I understand cultivation levels better than you. Lin Feng was observing the surroundings in his world of darkness. There was a gray wind blowing unceasingly and he could see each and every single movement of the wind. He could also see some dark silhouettes flickering. However, there was one silhouette which appeared brighter than the others. That silhouette kept flickering too, but each time it flickered, many other shadows appeared around it. In Lin Feng's head, it looked like a dancing buffoon. Lin Feng smiled coldly as the wind was blowing against his body aggressively. However, Lin Feng was calmly standing there in the middle of that deadly storm. His body was like a stone, motionless, and unaffected by the world. Back in his dark world, the light moved a little. The silhouette jumped into the gray wind and borrowed some force from it. At the same time, a hurricane appeared in his hand. That person understood wind intent quite well. His wind was almost invisible, and yet, extremely powerful. That wind was strong enough to crush trees. That cultivator saw how easy it was for Lin Feng to kill a cultivator of the second Tian Qi layer and decided to act cautiously. He didn't want to underestimate Lin Feng and wind as up like his friend. However, Lin Feng's eyes were, as before, closed and that cultivator misunderstood this for overconfidence. Because of this storm, Lin Feng wouldn't know when his opponent attacked. Wind was a light and invisible kind of strength. Lin Feng's opponent was moving and thinking like the wind. At the same time, he released the hurricane in his hand to cripple Lin Feng's cultivation. However, as soon as the hurricane left his hand, Lin Feng moved as well and moved with similar grace. It seemed like he had hollow bones, like birds did. Lin Feng left a shadow behind him as the wind crashed onto that shadow. At the same time, two hands that contained an incredible amount of wind energy seemed like they were grabbing at his throat. How is that possible? Thought that cultivator whose heart started pounding violently. Now, Lin Feng finally opened his eyes. He looked expressionless, yet one could see that he found the situation amusing. I understand cultivation levels better than you, said Lin Feng. Immediately after, fire appeared in his hand and began cooking the cultivator. Boom! Lin Feng then punched him and destroyed his burnt body, which flew towards Shengong's people. Save me, shouted that cultivator furiously. At the same time, a sound spread in the air. A black blade penetrated his heart. He turned his head around and looked at his comrade. Despair appeared in his eyes. Even if you live on, you'll be a useless piece of trash. I'll avenge you, said his comrade angrily. Then, the cultivator closed his eyes and disappeared in the fire. The one with the blade released an ice-cold energy and at the same time, another person came out. That person held a spear which diffused ice-cold lights. They both looked extremely aggressive. I will kill him, said the one with the blade. Surprisingly, two cultivators of the Tian Qi layer had been killed by Lin Feng. What a humiliation for them. Lin Feng had only broken through to the Tian Qi layer. No, I will, said the one with the spear. Come together, fighting one-on-one each time is going to take too long, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly. Lin Feng was happy, Shengong had sent people to him. Now he could practice his cultivation. He had obtained so many treasures recently and learnt so many new skills, learning more about these things through fighting was invaluable. The two's eyes twinkled with sharp lights. They looked like two lions in front of a sheep. Go ahead, together, said Zhu Tian. He also felt humiliated. However, Lin Feng's self-confidence and arrogance made him act cautious. Even though cultivators of the third Tian Qi layer were considered average cultivators in Shengong, all in all they belonged to Shengong and they couldn't afford losing too many of them. Zhu Tian had told them that it was alright, so they didn't hesitate and both jumped forwards. 2 against 1, a spear and a blade against Lin Feng. Your intent levels are too low, said Lin Feng mockingly. Then, he released his level 7 sword intent. The earth and sky were whistling as everything seemingly became a world made of swords. Lin Feng's cultivation level was lower than his opponent's, but his intent level was higher. His terrifying sword intent placed a monumental pressure on his opponents. If one could compare intent and a forest, the intent of Lin Feng's opponents represented a few trees and Lin Feng's was a vast and boundless jungle. His intent enveloped his opponents. How could they still fight like that? The two opponents pulled a long face. Those who had seen Lin Feng in the mysterious world knew how strong he was. However, they either died or were now trapped in the emperor's palace. How strong was Lin Feng? His blood sword appeared and it was twinkling with blood-red lights. Millions of swords appeared around Lin Feng and the sky was whistling. The million swords condensed and fused together with the blood sword. Its bright blood-red color was becoming more dazzling. "Million sword fusion," shouted Lin Feng furiously. His sword then streaked across the sky. Roaring dragons appeared and were directed at his opponents. The swords turned into two beams of light and then two gigantic swords appeared, each capable of cutting the vault of heaven. Dai, the two cultivators of the third Tian Qi layer didn't flinch. A gigantic blade diffused a dazzling blade light, then on the other side, there was a spear that separated the sky as well. In a flash, 1,000 spears appeared. Boom! The blade and the sword collided, the spear and the sword collided as well, and a hurricane formed from these confronting energies. "Be careful," shouted someone furiously. But again, it was too late. Lin Feng had learnt the ancient Xiaoyao agility technique. The blood sword streaked across the sky. Blood appeared on the throat of the blade cultivator and splashed violently. Lin Feng's blood sword picked up that blood and absorbed it. Lin Feng didn't stop though. He then used his agility technique again and threw himself at the spear cultivator. The opponent ran backwards with his fastest speed. However, a sword light appeared as Lin Feng disappeared and turned into a sword. Some slashing sound spread in the air. The enemy was terrified as Lin Feng suddenly appeared behind him. Chapter 891, 7th Tian Qi Layer 1 Sword Strike, 1 Death. Lin Feng slaughtered two cultivators of the third Tian Qi layer and his speed was astonishing. The Shengong's people looked astonished as well as humiliated. Two more of their people had died. Even though they were only of the third Tian Qi layer, their level was still higher than Lin Feng's. Shengong's cultivators are crappy. "With some more time, I could kill you all like worthless dogs," said Lin Feng while pointing at Shengong's people. "Someday, when I reach the clouds, I'll come to your territory and annihilate you." Phew, the crowd sighed, how brave. Saying that he would go and destroy Shengong was extremely audacious. Shi Ju Tian's expression changed drastically. For Shengong, Lin Feng had to die. "Unfortunately, you will never reach the clouds." There was murder in Shi Ju Tian's eyes. He didn't want to recruit Lin Feng anymore, he wanted to cripple his cultivation. He wanted to see Lin Feng on the ground, unable to stand up ever again. "You're not the one who can decide if I will reach the clouds or not. I killed cultivators of the third Tian Qi layer, you can even send cultivators of the fourth Tian Qi layer to fight me. You guys can all come at once, I will still kill every single one of you." Lin Feng was pointing at two cultivators of the fourth Tian Qi layer in an arrogant way. Those cultivators of the Tian Qi layer found it difficult to remain calm. Boom! Energies rolled through the sky. An old man with white eyebrows released some energies towards Lin Feng. His eyebrows resembled swords and he himself looked like a sword, wanting to kill Lin Feng. Good, if Mr. Bai gets involved, Lin Feng is doomed. Shengong's people seemed to relax. Mr. Bai was old but very talented. His level wasn't high but he understood swords very well. He had broken through to the fourth Tian Qi layer and possessed level 6 sword intent. His cultivation level was higher than Lin Feng's but Lin Feng could already use level 7 sword intent. Lin Feng remained motionless in the sky, he had a cold smile in the corner of his mouth. Little boy, you're going to die now, said Mr. Bai. In the blink of an eye, sword energy appeared around Mr. Bai's fingertip shot out towards Lin Feng. As Mr. Bai was getting closer to Lin Feng, a demonic sealing strength appeared. Lin Feng smiled at the old man as a gigantic piece of stone appeared above his hand. Boom! When Mr. Bai's fingers touched the gigantic piece of stone, his bones broke and he gave a horrible shriek. Don't engage in close combat, said someone from behind him. An extremely loud sound followed as the stone ruthlessly crashed onto the old man's body. Boom! A terrifying energy rolled in the air towards Lin Feng. Another cultivator of the fourth Xian Qi layer attacked Lin Feng. Lin Feng stretched out his hand which was holding the gigantic piece of stone to deal with that cultivator. At the same time, he used his other hand to attack the old man. This time, a subtle sound spread in the air, as if a needle had pierced through the old man's chest. However, that sound was masked by the sounds of the stone attacking the other cultivator. You are already old so I won't kill you, said Lin Feng, sending the old man flying. The stone came back into Lin Feng's hands and someone in front of him shouted, "What an arrogant little boy! You dared to use precious items. Arrogant? He is 3 levels stronger than me, why wouldn't I use precious items? What should I say about a group of Shangong's people coming to attack me? You are such weak cowards." Lin Feng shouted back. Invisible hand of destruction, shouted that person furiously. With a flash, a gigantic hand appeared and flew through the air. Lin Feng used his stone as massive waves of energy rolled in the air and crashed onto that terrifying hand. Everything disappeared instantly. A demon seal stone, what a surprising treasure. Go and capture him. Shiju Tian's long sleeves fluttered in the wind. He didn't care about Shangong's honor anymore, he just wanted to capture Lin Feng. Die, said Lin Feng coldly. The 7 snow eagles released a terrifying amount of bestial qi. Lin Feng's hands moved and he released his Tian-level beasts from his animal tower. Clouds of bestial qi rolled in the air. People on the ground were shaking. What a terrifying amount bestial qi. All those beasts were Tian-level beasts. Roar! Lin Feng used his demon seal stone to push the cultivator of the 4th Xian Qi layer in front of the bear. The bear roared and crushed the cultivator easily. How fierce! The Tian-level cultivator was crushed alive. West Shangong had a dozen cultivators of the Tian Qi layer and Lin Feng had a dozen Tian-level beasts. Their battle made the ground and sky shake, the atmosphere seemed like it was breaking apart, and terrifying energies were rolling. A golden hand appeared in front of Lin Feng and contained enough strength to crush Lin Feng easily. Lin Feng stared at his opponent. The person with that golden hand was a cultivator of the 7th Tian Qi layer. Even though Lin Feng had many ways to kill his opponents, he wasn't able to handle such powerful cultivators. Demonic sealing strength emerged from the demon seal stone, the seal character was flashing. Boom boom boom. The hand crashed onto the stone. Lin Feng's hand felt numb, it seemed the stone alone wasn't enough to block the attack. Lin Feng was propelled backwards. As expected, Lin Feng couldn't fight high-leveled cultivators. You should just surrender. Did you really think that because you killed a few people, you were able to win, said that cultivator. His long sleeves fluttered in the wind as he jumped forwards and attacked Lin Feng again. Humph. Lin Feng groaned and used his stone again. At the same time, a golden bell appeared in front of his eyebrows and shot towards his opponent. Godly awareness attack, the cultivator with the golden hands was quite surprised. Lin Feng's cultivation was impressive. Not only had he broken through to the 1st Tian Qi layer, but he could use the godly awareness attack already. You're about to bring about your own destruction, said the golden hand cultivator. He attacked the stone again. At the same time, a godly awareness golden sword appeared. However, the Golden Hand cultivator looked at Lin Feng and saw that he was smiling in a bestial kind of way, so he pulled back his awareness. Almost at the same time, the Golden Hand cultivator turned around and saw a sword sneaking behind him. Try and dare, the Golden Hand cultivator released an incredible amount of chi and launched a hand attack. A golden light appeared between his eyebrows and drowned into his skin between his eyebrows. He was shaking, he wanted to kick out Lin Feng's awareness but it was already too late. That godly awareness was extremely dangerous. The godly awareness sword was recalled but Lin Feng was running towards him now. Lin Feng's sword suddenly crashed between his eyebrows, crushing him violently. Chapter 892, Unsheathing the Demon Sword, Roar. The Golden Hand cultivator roared violently, his facial expression looked ferocious. A terrifying godly awareness sword headed for Lin Feng, but Lin Feng used his Xiaoyao agility technique and his demon seal stone. Boom, the godly awareness and the stone collided as a terrifying golden light appeared. The godly awareness was barely visible but at the same time, new golden lights appeared between the Golden Hand cultivator's eyebrows. Evil spirit, Arg, the cultivator screamed when he saw the little golden spirit. His forehead was bleeding, but he really wanted to capture Lin Feng. He suddenly stopped moving in the middle of the sky. He was staring at Lin Feng with the utmost hatred as a drop of blood fell from his forehead and suddenly, he died. Lin Feng called his spirit back and glanced at the cultivator with the golden sleeves. As expected, he couldn't fight against a cultivator of the 7th Qi layer. It was from the very beginning that he had used the evil spirit to control the old man. Even though he couldn't control his strength, he could at least use him to prevent the Tian-level cultivator from killing him. After that, Lin Feng made his godly awareness come back out again and killed his opponent. Lin Feng looked at his opponent's eyes and could almost see the fury in them. Lin Feng, a cultivator of the 1st Tian Qi layer, had killed him with the help of his evil spirit. A whirlwind started around Shiju Tian and protected him. Cultivators of the 3rd and 4th Tian Qi layers had died. Even though he wasn't happy about it, he didn't care much. However, seeing the dead bodies infuriated him. West Shandong had sent people to capture Lin Feng and in the end, even a cultivator of the 7th Tian Qi layer couldn't suffice. What a humiliation, if other people in Shandong knew about that, he would lose face. Even the others who had fought against the Tian-level beasts hadn't been able to resist a single attack. Those beasts were extremely powerful, they were at least level 4 Tian-level beasts. Shandong had no chance. I swear, after we capture and torture you, I will kill you in a tragic way. Shiju Tian threatened Lin Feng. You're still quite confident, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly. If you are not afraid of losing your consciousness and decide to turn into a demon again, I will help you kill your family and friends, all of them, one after the other. You will kill them with your own hands, said Shiju Tian while smiling coldly. He had known about Lin Feng's demon sword from last time. He also knew that when Lin Feng used it, he was unable to discern friends from enemies, killing anyone in front of him. Lin Feng's pupils narrowed. Shandong's people were extremely strong but they were shameless. In the world of strong cultivators, sometimes, there were no principles. Bei Ming of North Shandong as well as another Shandong leader have disappeared. It seems like today, another leader along with many strong cultivators will disappear as well, said Lin Feng while staring back at Shiju Tian. He sounded as arrogant as always. Strangely, Lin Feng seemed confident about defeating Zhu Tian. Shiju Tian's pupils narrowed. He seemed intrigued. How could Lin Feng be so confident? Concerning the strong cultivator's disappearance, the only person who knew about that was Duan Wuya. However, it was said that Lin Feng had followed Duan Wuya into the East Sea Dragon Palace and killed him there. Therefore, nobody knew about the mysterious disappearances in the mysterious world. Did Lin Feng have a secret weapon to deal with him? Otherwise, why would Lin Feng be so confident? Not only was Lin Feng unafraid but he was goading him to fight. After thinking those things through, Shi Ju Tian couldn't help but re-examine Lin Feng. He felt like he had to be even more vigilant. A moment before, the cultivator with the golden clothes had died by Lin Feng because of carelessness. Ju Tian, as a leader, had great plans, so dying there would be a pity. Rumbling sounds were unceasing as the Tian-level beasts and cultivators were fighting. There were so many people fighting that the sky had darkened. The Tian-level beasts had a stable advantage, having killed 2 cultivators of the Tian Qi layer. Shi Ju Tian and Lin Feng were staring each other down. In the middle of the chaos, they alone were motionless. Ju Tian was a bit scared that Lin Feng might possess an incredible weapon or treasures. Maybe he had the treasures of the great emperor. You all from Shandong will die. Against all expectations, you're not even attacking first. Honestly, you are all trash. A leader, you. You won't even fight me, a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer. If other people saw that, they would burst into laughter, said Lin Feng mockingly. Ju Tian remained calm. Since the beginning, you have humiliated and insulted us, even killing us. What is your motive? Asked Shi Ju Tian. Lin Feng just laughed. A leader who is afraid to attack, I, Lin Feng, am honored. Lin Feng looked at the battle between the beasts and the group with amusement. He wasn't even looking at Shi Ju Tian anymore. However, Ju Tian remained calm still, his expression didn't change. The crowd on the ground was enjoying the battle. Some people were whispering about how wonderful their leader, Lin Feng, was. With a few sentences, he had managed to terrify a leader of Shandong. Ah, another shriek sounded. A member of Shandong had been cut by a snow eagle. Tian-level beasts were fierce and very brutal. Shandong's people were terrified. At that pace, they were all going to die. They had no hope anymore, especially since their leader was still facing Lin Feng without doing anything. West Shandong had sent a dozen cultivators of the Tian Qi layer and thought that they would be enough to crush Lin Feng. In the end, they were humiliated. Leader, attack with us. Someone shouted furiously. At the same time, another member of Shandong fell down from the sky, dead. The great rock had cut him as well. Shi Ju Tian's eyes were twinkling with murder. As if Lin Feng had sensed those murderous intentions, a bestial aura started twinkling around his body. Snowflakes started floating around and they contained bestial qi. Shi Ju Tian was surprised by the snowflakes. Lin Feng slowly raised his hands and condensed strength in them. A whirlwind of bestial pure qi flowed in his hands and white lights were twinkling around them. You finally can't hold back anymore. Lin Feng's eyes looked cold. He moved his hands and a piece of demon seal stone appeared. That was the stone Lin Feng used to seal his demon sword. Shi Ju Tian yelled at Lin Feng, "Do you really want to use your demon sword? You don't care about killing your own people. If you don't die, you'll see," said Lin Feng. Then, he shouted furiously, "Come out." Boom boom boom. He unsheathed his demon sword. The earth and the sky seemed to collapse as a terrifying demonic cloud appeared. Immediately, the earth and sky seemed to turn upside down. The crowd was crouching on the ground as they were oppressed by the energies in the sky. Shandong's people were all shivering. What kind of sword was that? Whatever it was terrifying. Back then, Lei Mang had told some others about Lin Feng's terrifying demon sword. However, hearing about it and facing it gave two different perspectives. They were all discovering how terrifying that sword really was. Chapter 893, Destroying Ju Tian in one strike. Ju Tian's hands were frozen cold. Lin Feng was willing to use his demon sword. Was he not turning into a demon though? Did Lin Feng not fear harming the crowd on the below? How demoniac! Ju Tian was speechless. That demon sword was incredibly powerful. The initial owner of the demon sword must have been at least a Zun cultivator. Even though he eventually died, his demonic power remained. "You're crazy. Do you actually think I will not kill everyone on the ground anyway?" shouted Shiju Tian furiously. That demonic power was terrifying and Zhu Tian was afraid that he couldn't fight it. Lin Feng coldly glanced at Zhu Tian with a bestial expression in his eyes. Even his mouth resembled that of an animal. He then said, "I will not give you any chances to do so." Demon Seal. Suddenly, a terrifying black light appeared in Lin Feng's hands with strange markings in that light. Lin Feng closed his eyes and visualized the demonic sealing strength so he could better control his demon power. He was finally able to use it. He rose up in the air, his head reached the black clouds. There were mysterious marking on the demon sword now which contained a terrifying power. At the same time, bright lights twinkled around Lin Feng's body as if he were condensing this strength. This strength was very subtle and barely visible. The crowd on the ground could see a huge word, seal. Lin Feng was visualizing the demon sealing strength while preventing the demon sword intent from corroding his body. That, Shiju Tian was astonished. Lin Feng's body had turned into a gigantic word, seal. He was sealing his own body. How was that possible? How could Lin Feng use the power of the demon seal stones to this extent? It couldn't be a part of his powers. Lin Feng was in the sky surrounded by rolling black clouds and floating snowflakes. He was dominating the skies with his demon sword. Lin Feng's ice-cold eyes made Shiju Tian shiver. Was that Lin Feng's true power? No wonder that he acted so arrogantly. Even in such circumstances, do you think you can stop me? Shiju Tian's didn't back down. He jumped forwards and a whirlwind followed him. However, he wasn't jumping in Lin Feng's direction, he was flying down towards the crowd on the ground. He wanted to kill Lin Feng's people to humiliate him. Lin Feng's pupils were still ice-cold. He moved his demon sword around as if he were writing something. It seemed like he was moving his hand really slowly, but at the same time each strike gave birth to insane hurricanes. Each trail left by his sword in the sky seemed to contain sword intent. Shiju Tian, who was flying downwards but raised his head, cold sweat was dripping down his neck. How is that possible, thought Shiju Tian. The trails left by Lin Feng in the sky seemed to contain a special energy, the real strength of the earth and sky. Those were the mysterious markings. Even someone like Shiju Tian had only heard of such mysterious markings. They were mysterious, subtle and extremely powerful. Lin Feng had only broken through to the first Tian Qi layer, being defeated by him at his cultivation level, would be an incredible tragedy. Lin Feng had probably learnt how to use those mysterious marks in the mysterious world. He couldn't have learnt them in the outside world. Shiju Tian was right, those mysterious marks came from the mysterious world. Back then, there were 81 mysterious sword marks in that sword room. The mysterious marks Lin Feng was using were some of them. He had spent lots of time studying them and had focused on a particular part only. Finally, he was able to understand some of the marks related to the way of the sword. Lin Feng had prepared himself for the fight against Shengong. The demonic clouds were wailing. Shiju Tian suddenly stopped from the surprise. Lin Feng had only broken through to the first Tian Qi layer, but with the help of the demon sword, how strong could he get? Shiju Tian didn't want to think about that. At that moment, the Tian-level beasts and the group of people stopped fighting. They were all staring at Lin Feng. Shouldn't a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer possessing such power violate the rules of the universe? "Let's go," said Shiju Tian. His energies dispersed as he started running. He wanted to escape and come back with reinforcements. Lin Feng seemingly ignored Shiju Tian escaping, he continued condensing the strength of the mysterious marks. Snowflakes were still falling in the air. Despite his speed, Shiju Tian was still surrounded by these snowflakes. Boom! Shiju Tian barely had time to react. His head felt like it was exploding, he groaned and blood splashed out of his mouth. What kind of power was that? I told you that you wouldn't have a chance. But surprisingly, you still came. Now you will stay here forever. At that moment, a trail appeared behind Lin Feng. Lin Feng raised his head and the whole sky became white. Die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. A trail was left behind by the demon sword as a gigantic word appeared in the sky, die. That word seemed to contain an infinite amount of sword energy. People couldn't look at it, it was so bright that they were forced to close their eyes. Shiju Tian's facial expression changed drastically as he opened his mouth and moaned. That die word penetrated into his body. Shiju Tian's mouth remained open. On his body, the word die appeared and carved into his skin. His body started falling apart as that die word was continuously assaulting his body. Shiju Tian of West Shandong was dead and Lin Feng, a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer, had killed him. The crowd shivered. Lin Feng had unsheathed his demon sword and killed Shiju Tian with one strike. Nobody would forget that move, ever. CRR, Lin Feng's demon seal strength was quickly diminishing. Even though he had sealed his body, it would never be as strong as the demon seal stone. Because of this, he couldn't prevent the demon sword from corroding his intent forever. He put back his demon sword in the demon seal stone and the clouds dispersed. Lin Feng's eyes twinkled as the demon seal strength vanished. The snowflakes gradually disappeared as well. Even after the clouds and snow disappeared, people could still imagine that they were there. The battle between the Tian-level beasts and the remaining Shandong people wasn't over. Lin Feng had only killed Shiju Tian, there was still another leader and their Zun cultivators. Lin Feng glanced at the remaining Shandong people. This time, nobody looked at him despisingly. He was too scary. Lin Feng had only broken through to the first Tian Qi layer, but was able to kill people at the top of the Tian Qi layer. The 7 snow eagles' silhouettes kept flickering. Lin Feng had ordered them to fight, so they obeyed. Actually, they didn't know what kind of power Lin Feng had. It wasn't until now that they were starting to understand how scary their master was. Lin Feng was a young master in Tianxian. In the future, he would become an authentic leader and Tianxian could only benefit. Chapter 894, Asking the Evil Spirit. Even after the snow and clouds dispersed, the crowd on the ground couldn't calm down. In the past, people from Xueyu had never seen cultivators of the Tian Qi layer. Seeing such battles, the incredible powers and skills, was beyond words for them. What kind of power did Lin Feng use to write the word die with his demon sword? And when Shiju Tian tried to escape, why couldn't he get out of the snowstorm? Ordinary Xueyu people couldn't understand that. Ordinary people couldn't understand, but even Shandong cultivators of the Tian Qi layer couldn't. How could Lin Feng have such powers? How could he kill Shiju Tian in one strike? Apart from Zun cultivators, could other cultivators defeat Lin Feng? They couldn't grasp the power of the demon sword. The mysterious marks Lin Feng had used were left by the Jade Emperor, an incredibly powerful Zun cultivator. Cultivators of the Tian Qi layer couldn't imagine how strong he was. The demon sword coupled with the strength of the mysterious marks was the only way to finish Shiju Tian. Lin Feng's bestial qi dispersed and he coldly glanced at the remaining Shandong people. He then spat out one word, die. The beasts roared and slaughtered their enemies. Corpses fell down from the sky one after the other. Some people tried to escape, but could they escape from Tian-level beasts? Of course not, they were all doomed to die. Who would have thought that their campaign would turn into such a tragedy? Lin Feng was just a nobody, a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer. When the last cultivator of the Tian Qi layer was killed by the Tian-level beasts, those beasts gathered together, it seemed like their bloodlust hadn't faded at all. They were ferocious wild beasts that loved to kill. The great rock looked majestic in the sky, the metallic sounds of its claws could still be heard. "That's enough," said Lin Feng. The beasts calmed down as Lin Feng looked at them. "Great rock, you've been with me a lot recently and have made great efforts. You are free now, I won't put you in the animal tower again. However, if you ever do something against me, I will put you back inside forever." The great rock transformed into a human, his eyes were twinkling. "Thank you, Master." The rock regarded Lin Feng in the same way as the snow eagles. He was extremely happy not to be imprisoned in the animal tower anymore. The other animals looked at the rock in a respectful way. He was free. "You will all have such opportunities too," said Lin Feng to the other beasts. Lin Feng then shook his hand and the animal tower appeared again, but the beasts went into it voluntarily. They had to show the best of themselves to be free someday too. The 7 snow eagles turned back into humans and gathered around Lin Feng. "Master, this time we killed Shengong's people, but when Shengong learns about it, stronger cultivators will come. I fear that they will send Zun cultivators. Shouldn't we head back to Tianqi?" said one snow eagle. Lin Feng was an incredible cultivator, but they were still worried about him. Lin Feng needed time to become stronger and shouldn't take large risks. It will take time before Shengong realizes that the group isn't coming back. "Let's wait a few more days and I will think about what we can do," replied Lin Feng. The snow eagle's worries were not unfounded. With the loss of West Shengong, there was only one Shengong district left. They would definitely send a Zun cultivator to deal with Lin Feng, and the demon sword wouldn't be enough then. Even though he had sealed it, it still had its corrosive power. The demon seal stone couldn't entirely seal its demon intent, so if he kept using it, the demon sword would turn him into a demon again. Lin Feng couldn't take that risk, but he didn't have many solutions. "Nobody can talk about what happened today, it could be dangerous to us all. You've seen how dangerous Shengong can be, so don't act carelessly," said Lin Feng loudly so that everyone could hear. Everybody nodded in agreement. Lin Feng rolled up his sleeves and left for the governmental buildings. Many people in the palace had seen the great battle and were impressed. "Xiaoye." Lin Feng called Xiaoye, who was next to the pond. "Brother, you're becoming so amazing," said Xiaoye with a sweet smile. "Xiaoye, when I was in danger outside, I saw your grandfather. He saved me. I found out that he is incredibly strong. Following him, you must have seen incredible things, so I will show you something." Xiaoye smiled. She knew that her grandfather left a protection for Lin Feng and for her too. If she faced dangers, it could be beneficial for her even if she couldn't use that protection herself. Lin Feng shook his hand. A small man appeared in front of him. "That's an evil spirit." Xiaoye was surprised. She never imagined that Lin Feng would show her an evil spirit. It must have once been an extremely strong cultivator who couldn't die. Indeed. "It's an evil spirit that can eat people's godly awareness and turn it into a body," said Lin Feng nodding. Xiaoye nodded. "There is an extremely strong technique called body capture. When a cultivator who understands godly awareness is injured physically and have practiced the body capture technique, they can steal other people's bodies. It's the same as the evil spirit's power. Body capture." Lin Feng's eyes were twinkling. He asked the evil spirit, "If you use somebody else's body, will you be able to change? Are your powers different from the body capture technique?" "Of course they're not the same. We steal bodies and can immediately eradicate the other godly awareness, but the way we control bodies is not complete. Therefore, we need to consume the godly awareness slowly. The body capture technique is different because it's more powerful. You can immediately eradicate the godly awareness when you use it. And then you can slowly corrode the person's body. If evil spirits choose to invade a body using the first method, they have to change bodies all the time. If they use the second method or the body capture technique, then they don't need to change anymore." Chapter 895, Spirit Sealing Technique. Lin Feng nodded. According to the evil spirit, they corroded bodies or could steal a body using the body capture technique. Of course, the strength of the godly awareness had to be inferior to that of the attacking cultivator. When an extremely strong cultivator dies, their soul remains, so they can rise again. In order to do that, they need to find a body. Once the soul is strong enough again, they can steal a body. Is that right? Asked Lin Feng. Of course, but it is not the only scenario. If an ordinary person uses the body capture technique, once they become strong enough, they'll want a better body to increase their own strength. If I know someone I want to use the body capture technique on but I don't want to destroy their godly awareness, is that possible? Asked Lin Feng. The little person looked surprised and stared at Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at Xiaoya. She had followed her grandfather to many places and had seen and knew a lot. Xiaoya, is there any medicine which could allow such things? Asked Lin Feng. Brother, what you're talking about has a name, it's the spirit sealing technique, replied Xiaoya. The body capture technique and the spirit sealing technique were often used together. That wasn't a secret. People who could use the body capture technique also knew about the spirit sealing technique. Indeed. There is such a technique. With it, you could do what you said the evil spirit in a trembling voice. He didn't want to upset Lin Feng. He was afraid that Lin Feng could seal him. Don't worry, I'm not interested in you, said Lin Feng as if he could read the evil spirit's thoughts. The evil spirit felt vexed because Lin Feng despised him, but at the same time he felt relieved. The body capture. Lin Feng's eyes were twinkling. He could really do what he said, using the body capture of the godly awareness or fusing with people's bodies using the evil spirit sealing. The spirit sealing technique is a sort of deployment technique, but practicing that kind of technique is extremely difficult. Only cultivators with an extremely powerful godly awareness can use the body capture technique. At the moment when the cultivator fuses with the body, their soul can die if they're not strong enough. You should at least be a Zun cultivator to use the body capture technique. Therefore, cultivators rarely learn the technique because Zun cultivators don't need it, said Xiaoya. Lin Feng was delighted to hear such information and kept nodding. Brother, do you want to learn the sealing technique? You won't find this technique in the Xueyu region, said Xiaoya while shaking her head. Very few people who weren't Zun cultivators could use that technique. Lin Feng nodded and smiled. He pet Xiaoya's head. Little girl, it seems like you understand things better than I do. Hi, if you want to know anything, you can ask me. Even though I am not as strong as you, I know a lot of things, said Xiaoya while smiling. Brother, I'm off. I want to go and have fun with Xianyi and Yunxi, said Xiaoya as if she knew that Lin Feng had other things to do. She then turned around and left. Silly girl. Lin Feng smiled. Lin Feng shook his hand and pulled back the evil spirit. He then left and went to the Snow Eagles. Master, said the Snow Eagles politely. Their esteem for Lin Feng was ever increasing. In the past, they respected him because he was a young leader in Tianxian, but now they admired his strength as well. Brothers, can you contact Tianqi? Lin Feng asked while opening the door and looking out at the mountains. The Snow Eagles' pupils shrunk, their eyes twinkled as they remained silent. Lin Feng smiled when he saw their reaction and said, it seems like I'm right, you can contact Tianqi, right? Master, we can, but only in case of real danger. We don't want you to waste that opportunity, so please think it through, said one of the Snow Eagles. Lin Feng was a leader in Tianxian, so Tianqi had to protect Lin Feng. I need to contact Tianqi now, said Lin Feng seriously. Master, one of the Snow Eagles wanted to say something, but Lin Feng immediately interrupted him. Right now means immediately. It's extremely important, I must contact Tianqi right now. The 7 Snow Eagles glanced at each other and finally nodded, all right. We'll establish a communication portal. The Snow Eagles positioned themselves in different positions like a 7-star constellation. In the middle, an ancient portal appeared. The snow eagles held hands and bestial chi flowed in the atmosphere. At the same time, the portal was becoming more and more distinct with mysterious marks appearing on it. CRRR, golden marks appeared. The 7 snow eagles used their godly awareness to condense the portal. It seemed like 7 stars were appearing and a mysterious strength radiated from the portal. Godly awareness turn into a portal, shouted the 7 snow eagles. Their strength fused together and a drawing appeared. An old man appeared in that portal, it was almost as if he were next to Lin Feng. That person was the leader of Tian Xian, the Snow Zun cultivator. Lin Feng, did anything happen? What a terrifying strength, thought Lin Feng. The snow eagle's eyes were closed and it seemed like they were making great efforts. Teacher, I want to practice the spirit sealing technique, do you have it? Asked Lin Feng. You encountered a cultivator who can use body capture, the old man was surprised. When hearing about the spirit sealing technique, he immediately thought of the body capture technique. We could put it that way, so now I need the spirit sealing technique, said Lin Feng nodding. I have never practiced it. But hold on, said the old man. He then disappeared from the portal and a snowy mountain appeared instead. Lin Feng waited, but not too long. Another old man appeared instead. His teacher left and asked, the leader of Tian Chi to come instead. Mr. Tian Ji. Lin Feng, don't talk, said Mr. Tian Ji when he saw that Lin Feng was about to talk. The 7 snow eagles opened the portal and it's difficult for them, they can't hold on too much longer. I will transmit you the spirit sealing technique, pay attention. The old man opened his hands and started drawing in the air. Each stroke contained an incredible amount of strength. Those weren't mysterious marks but deployment technique strength. At the same time, his voice kept flowing into Lin Feng's brain. Lin Feng switched to study mode and listened carefully and calmly. He activated his human and earth fusion. He carefully watched the old man's movements and studied the strokes assiduously. Chapter 896, Qiong Qi, Flame Emperor Yan Di. The old man's movements were very slow but necessary for Lin Feng to study them properly. After a long time, he stopped and looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng, study properly. Kacha. The portal dispersed and disappeared. The 7 snow eagles recalled their godly awareness and sat down cross-legged. They needed to recover after that. Lin Feng closed his eyes and studied what the old man transmitted him. He had to perfectly understand the concepts. Lin Feng seemed to disappear as he entered a deep meditative state. That's what he had always done and that's why he has made so much progress. He didn't study particularly fast but he was very focused so he learned faster. After a long time, Lin Feng opened his eyes. The 7 snow eagles were, as before, sitting cross-legged and recovering. Opening the communication portal must have been exhausting. Lin Feng thought back about the portal. He didn't need to say much, his teacher hadn't hesitated and immediately called the leader of Tian Chi, Mr. Tian Ji, to help him. Besides, Mr. Tian Ji didn't hesitate either. The old man helped him without second-guessing Lin Feng's intentions. Lin Feng was always impressed with Tian Chi even though Tian Shu wasn't his favorite, every group has some outliers. Lin Feng stayed seated for a long time and waited for the 7 snow eagles to recover before leaving. In the imperial palace, Lin Hai and Yu Meng He were sitting in a pavilion, calmly talking about something. The fact that Lin Feng was so strong and powerful made his parents delighted. It seemed that if his enemies weren't at least Zun cultivators, nobody could defeat him. However, they hoped that Lin Feng wouldn't always have to fight that way. After all, the demon sword was extremely dangerous. Even Lin Hai, who was a cultivator of the Tian Chi layer, was oppressed by the power of the demon sword. So there was no need to talk about Lin Feng who was using it. Lin Feng and his father had broken through to the same Tian Chi layer, the first one. Lin Hai knew that he still wasn't strong enough. He didn't want Lin Feng to use the demon sword all the time. Far away from them, Qiong Qi was on the ground with his eyes were closed. It seemed like it was resting. Ever since its last battle, it was calm. It lied down for days and nights, motionless. It was abnormal. Sometimes, they went to see him, however, Qiong Qi always remained silent and motionless. They didn't know how to react concerning Qiong Qi's state. Mom, Dad, at that moment, Lin Feng appeared. Lin Hai and Yu Menghe smiled at their son. Lin Feng, what are you doing here? We have to do something, said Lin Feng while smiling. Mom, Dad, come with me. Lin Hai and Yu Menghe glanced at each other. Lin Feng was so mysterious. Did he have a secret mission for them? They were curious, so they followed Lin Feng to a secret room. Lin Feng said, Mom, Dad, do you still remember the hole in the lovesickness forest? The one which leads to another world. Of course we remember, I used to send people to train there, replied Yu Menghe. The fire monster that came out a few days ago came out from that parallel world. The Fire Wolf King and its group of monsters came from there, said Lin Feng. Yu Menghe and Lin Hai were surprised. The hole in the lovesickness forest is just one portal. There is another one and they used that one to get out, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng took out a picture scroll out that was sealed by a demon seal stone. That world is the world of the picture scroll. It's a parallel world, said Lin Feng while pointing at the picture scroll. Yu Menghe and Lin Hai were surprised again. That picture scroll was a parallel world. That's just a picture scroll, how could it be connected to the lovesickness forest, asked Yu Menghe. I don't understand everything clearly either. Just trust me. Keep that picture scroll hidden carefully and seal the other exit. If the situation ever worsens for the palace, then you can open the seal and bring Xin Yi and the others into the picture scroll. Lin Feng didn't explain the situation very clearly. The evil spirit had explained to Lin Feng that the world was a battlefield for two very powerful monarchs. After the emperor killed the flame emperor Yan Di, that parallel world had turned into a picture scroll. In the past, perhaps the lovesickness forest belonged to that world, but Lin Feng didn't know for sure at that moment. He could only guess some of the mysteries of this world. Alright, but if we go in, what about you? Asked Yu Menghe. Don't worry. It's not that easy to defeat me. Besides, I am just being careful. I also hope that we won't need to use the picture scroll, said Lin Feng while smiling. Dad, you're the stronger one, keep the picture scroll carefully. Lin Hai nodded and put the picture scroll and a piece of demon seal stone in his ring. Lin Feng now felt reassured. Mom, Dad, don't tell anyone about that picture scroll, unless it turns out to be necessary because of a dangerous situation, said Lin Feng. If other people knew about the picture scroll, it would attract all sorts of people. They left the secret room. Lin Feng glanced around and saw Qiong Qi. Lin Feng went to him, but it was almost as if Qiong Qi didn't know that Lin Feng was there. Its eyes were closed and it was lying down. Get up, said Lin Feng coldly. Qiong Qi heard Lin Feng and opened its eyes, but it looked uninterested. Come with me, said Lin Feng coldly and started leaving. However, Qiong Qi didn't move. Lin Feng stopped and turned around. He looked angry. I told you to come with me, didn't you hear me? Qiong Qi's gigantic eyes twinkled and it slowly stood up. Lin Feng brought Qiong Qi to a wonderful and resplendent palace. They arrived in a beautiful room with marvelous decorations. Lin Feng looked at Qiong Qi, he looked cold and surprised. Do you know why I brought you here? Asked Lin Feng coldly. Qiong Qi looked at Lin Feng and shook its head. In the past, Qiong Qi was always with me. Its soul and mind could fuse together, I controlled it entirely, said Lin Feng slowly. This for some reason surprised Qiong Qi. Lin Feng ignored its reaction and continued talking. However, not long ago, we stopped being so close. What I am saying is that Qiongqi's soul was damaged. Qiongqi was staring at Lin Feng, its eyes almost looked human. Lin Feng said coldly, Yan Di surprisingly took a human form to fool me. Chapter 897, Insane Great Emperor. When Qiongqi heard Lin Feng, it stood up and flames appeared around its body. Lin Feng raised a hand and in a flash, a little golden person appeared. Lin Feng asked, Evil spirit, tell me if that is Yan Di or not. The little golden person frowned and looked terrified. It was indeed a part of Yan Di's broken soul, and on top of that, it seemed like it had inherited everything Yan Di previously possessed. It possessed everything Yan Di had and even more. Indeed, said the evil spirit in Lin Feng's brain. Lin Feng nodded coldly. When Lin Feng had fought in divine waters, Qiongqi helped him as a lookout. After Lin Feng killed the Fire Wolf King, Qiongqi stopped reacting and wasn't as close to him anymore. Lin Feng knew from that moment that Qiongqi wasn't Qiongqi anymore. There were only two possibilities: it was either an evil spirit or it was what the evil spirit confirmed, Yan Di. Initially, Lin Feng hadn't said anything to let the evil spirit think about it. Since you know it's me, the Flame Emperor, what do you want to do? Said Qiongqi, seemingly proud. Its chi suddenly looked luxuriant. Emperor? Lin Feng laughed, all right, I wouldn't have thought I'd ever have to say that, but today, I will seal you. Lin Feng suddenly jumped forwards. With a flash, bright lights illuminated the room. Mysterious marks appeared and flowed everywhere in the room. An infinite number of black marks also appeared. Spirit sealing technique. Yan Di was horrified. It stood up suddenly and loud sounds spread in the room. Black lights surrounded Yan Di's body, wrapping him up like a mummy. You dare use the spirit sealing technique on me, roared Yan Di furiously. It looked so furious that it would have scared anyone. Even though Yan Di was a broken spirit and had used the body capture on an animal, it still looked powerful. It was part of his nature. Even though Lin Feng was much stronger than Qiongqi, it was still difficult for Lin Feng to control him. Humph. Lin Feng's facial expression looked cold as he said, You're not an emperor, you're just a worthless animal, nothing more. How dare you? Qiongqi roared. Fire appeared and it started tearing apart the black marks. It opened its gigantic mouth and started spitting out fire. Qiongqi was an ancient animal, its fire was extremely strong, let alone Yan Di's fire. Lin Feng jumped and used his Cosmos Burning Sun technique. Incredible flames appeared and destroyed Qiongqi's flames. In the past, Yan Di was incredibly strong, but now, he was just a Xian-level beast. Piss off, shouted Lin Feng furiously. Lin Feng raised his hands and released his demon sword strength, slapping Qiongqi with it. An explosion sounded as the demon seal strength crashed into Qiongqi's body, crushing it onto the ground. You dare, an emperor, Qiongqi was furious. The demon seal strength made it tremble. Back in the day, it was an emperor, but it hadn't gotten used to being a feudal beast now. Maybe you were an emperor, but now you're my pet, said Lin Feng. Lights were twinkling in his hands. Qiongqi couldn't move because of the black light, so it was just staring at Lin Feng. Its expression was hideous. Roar, a human being wanted to use the spirit sealing technique on him, and now it had become a mere pet. A once great emperor had taken the form of a mere pet. The emperor had left the parallel world because he wanted to find a better body. That's why he had chosen Qiongqi. After all, Qiongqi was an ancient, ferocious animal which possessed incredible strength. But in the end, it was just an animal. The emperor made a mistake in choosing Qiongqi's body. Roaring is useless, said Lin Feng cheerfully. Bright lights appeared in his hands and his lips were moving, it seemed like he was chanting something, the spirit sealing chant. The sealing power in his hand was becoming stronger. The lights turned into a mysterious pattern. Spirit Seal, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He moved both his hands towards Qiong Qi. It looked like it was struck by lightning and was electrocuted. Qiong Qi lost its ability to move. Roar! But Qiong Qi couldn't roar, it just shook. Lin Feng punched it again. The spirit sealing strength entered its brain and oppressed its qi. Because of the spirit sealing strength, the Emperor's godly awareness would remain imprisoned in Qiong Qi's body forever. It was almost the same as dying, unless someday, Qiong Qi became strong enough to expel Yan Di. Until that day, Yan Di was Qiong Qi. I hope you die. Qiong Qi looked furious while glaring at Lin Feng. Lin Feng shivered but still looked cold. You're just a stupid pet, said Lin Feng as he punched Qiong Qi with sealing strength, forcing it to crouch down again. Roar! The sealing technique had succeeded. Qiong Qi ran towards Lin Feng with its open mouth. Piss off, said Lin Feng as he violently kicked Qiong Qi, making it fly away. Lin Feng released an ice-cold qi. Yan Di still thought of himself as an emperor. Lin Feng had to teach it a lesson. It ran towards Lin Feng again. It felt humiliated and it hated Lin Feng. Lin Feng punched its mouth, almost knocking out Qiong Qi. Lin Feng ran towards him and kicked it again. Qiong Qi moaned with pain and crashed onto a wall, shaking violently. Lin Feng released more demon sealing strength and punched it again. Boom boom boom. Lin Feng continued punching it violently. Its qi was weakening as it eventually crouched down. It hated Lin Feng but he couldn't contest. Emperor! Come, try and kill me, said Lin Feng while punching it unceasingly. He showed no mercy. In the distance, some people heard the sounds and figured that Lin Feng was beating up Qiong Qi. They walked even farther away, wondering what Qiong Qi did to infuriate Lin Feng. Poor Qiong Qi, it was just a pet. Chapter 898, Convincing the Flame Emperor Yan Di. After a long time, the sound stopped. Qiong Qi was crouching and its qi was very weak. It seemed like it had no strength left at all. He looked at Qiong Qi and said, Emperor. First, I'll put you away. Lin Feng shook his hand and the animal tower appeared. Fortunately, he could put his animals in the snowy animal tower. Qiong Qi looked at the animal tower and its body turned rigid. This bloody human wanted to imprison him in that tower. Lin Feng shook his animal tower which slowly released energies that moved towards Qiong Qi, and surrounded its body. You'll stay in there for a few days, said Lin Feng. In a flash, the animal tower became bright and started swallowing Qiong Qi. It didn't want to go it. It was an emperor, not an animal. But, the animal tower was an incredible treasure. If it was sucked in, it would definitely become an animal. Qiong Qi started struggling but its qi was too weak. Lin Feng had tortured it so it didn't have strength to struggle anymore. Lights enveloped its body was swallowed by the tower. The tower became small again and Lin Feng put it away. The tower was an incredible treasure, capable of containing Tian-level beasts. Later, Lin Feng released Qiong Qi. Roar, Qiong Qi roared loudly. Boom! Lin Feng punched it and crushed it onto the ground. Qiong Qi stood up again and stared at Lin Feng coldly. He wanted Lin Feng to die. Don't look at me like that. You will stay with me for a long time, maybe forever, said Lin Feng while smiling. I will definitely kill you someday, said Qiong Qi. It would kill Lin Feng, somehow. Well, let's wait and see. Right now you're not strong enough for that, said Lin Feng indifferently. Yan Di, Qiong Qi is an ancient, ferocious, wild beast and you chose to live in its body. But it's my pet. I should kill you but I won't because you once were an emperor. Basically, I gave you my pet's body. You're not suffering that much so you should be grateful. Boom! Qiong Qi spat out flames. That damn human being was telling it to be grateful. How sly was Lin Feng. I now consider you an emperor. Let's forget that you're stuck in an animal's body, said Lin Feng. He counterattacked with his own fire attack which extinguished Xiong Qi's flames instantly. Lin Feng's qi was too powerful. Xiong Qi remained cold with Lin Feng. Don't look at me that way. Don't worry, if you cooperate I will treat you as an emperor. We can grow strong together and I won't put you in the animal tower again, said Lin Feng in a gentle way. He then added, since we'll be together all the time, let's be friends. Emperor, teach me Tian level skills first. If I become stronger, I will be able to help you even more. I could help you become a strong emperor again. You're dreaming, said Xiong Qi coldly. How shameless, Lin Feng wanted it to teach him skills. How could he be so shameless? It seems like he really hates me, thought Lin Feng. Even though the emperor was in Xiong Qi's body, he had been an emperor. At this time, he only had the memories of an emperor though. Let's progress together. Imagine if someday we were both so strong, we would be invincible, said Lin Feng gently. Xiong Qi didn't say anything, it just stared at Lin Feng. Did Lin Feng want it to become stronger while controlling it still? Impossible. Lin Feng saw that Xiong Qi wasn't easing any, so he said, come on, you don't need to teach me skills. But I'm sure that you used to have incredibly powerful ones and that you used to understand the mysterious marks extremely well. I have powerful enemies and they could come anytime to get their revenge. You must have solutions to defend us, said Lin Feng. Xiong Qi looked surprised. His purpose was to protect himself from Shenggong. If the emperor didn't help, it would be a pity. Of course I have solutions, mysterious marks are no mystery to me. But, I don't want to help you, said Xiong Qi coldly. It hated Lin Feng. Shut the hell up, shouted Lin Feng furiously, which scared Xiong Qi. Its body suddenly became rigid. Lin Feng released a terrifying qi which enveloped its body. I gave you face and regarded you as an emperor, don't make me regret that now. In the past, you used to despise even some of the strongest cultivators in the world. How can you be so ungrateful? Sure, I sealed your spirit to keep you by my side. But if you don't mind, I'd like to make you happy. If you keep acting hostile, I will have no choice but to kill you. I'm merciful enough, I think. However, I think killing you would be a pity. I wish you will become a great emperor again, shouted Lin Feng furiously. Lin Feng's voice penetrated into the emperor's brain deeply. He was still staring at Lin Feng and hated him, but he had to admit that Lin Feng was right. Lin Feng considered him as an emperor, but he had sealed his spirit to keep him by his side. Lin Feng let Yan Di think for a while and then said, all right, don't worry. You're an emperor. If you stay with me, you won't waste your powers. We will grow strong together. Of course, I can prevent you from escaping, so it's in your best interest to help me. If I am strong, you're strong too. Yan Di remained silent for a long time before saying, how strong are your enemies? A Zun cultivator, maybe even a high-level Zun cultivator, said Lin Feng. It seemed like Yan Di understood Lin Feng. If Lin Feng died, he would die too. Even though I know about mysterious marks and deployment technique strength, I can't use them with my current strength. If you want to fight against Zun-level cultivators, I need powerful abstruse crystals to defend you. Abstruse crystals. Lin Feng nodded and said, all right, let me think. Chapter 899, Entering a Strange World. The vast desert seemed endless. Lin Feng was standing in the desert, observing his surroundings as he released the emperor's palace. It looked majestic and contained incredible imperial qi. Lin Feng was in the parallel world which he had sealed because he couldn't take the risk of someone seeing palace in the outside world. Lin Feng disappeared from the desert and jumped into the palace. Many people were waiting for Lin Feng in there. Lin Feng. Lin Feng, they were all furious. So many Tian level and Xian level cultivators staring down Lin Feng. Boom boom boom, a terrifying chi appeared. You want to die, shouted Lin Feng coldly, his voice resonated like thunder. Bzzz, silhouettes were flickering. They surrounded Lin Feng and someone said, Lin Feng, you dare come here after what you did to us. If you don't let us out, we'll kill you. Lei Mang. Lin Feng looked at him. He remembered that person was a cultivator from North Shandong. You know Shi Ju Tian? Asked Lin Feng while smiling coldly. Lei Mang looked confused. Of course, he knew Ju Tian, he was the leader of West Shandong. Shi Ju Tian came with a group of people from West Shandong to capture me, so I killed them all, said Lin Feng. Lei Mang looked astonished. He didn't believe Lin Feng and said, impossible. You already broke through to the Tian Chi layer, but you couldn't possibly have killed the leader of West Shandong. I killed him in one sword strike, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly and releasing some demon sealing strength. I control this palace and everything in here. The fact that I'm not killing you doesn't mean that I can't. I am keeping you in here because you can still be useful, said Lin Feng while smiling. He was domineering, like an emperor. When the crowd dispersed when they sensed Lin Feng's terrifying demon energy, allowing him to pass. Lin Feng's silhouette flickered. Using his Xiaoyao agility technique, he instantly disappeared from their field of vision. We have to follow him, shouted someone. Then everybody ran in Lin Feng's direction. They couldn't stay in that place forever. Lin Feng's demon energy was indeed extremely powerful, even Lei Mang had witnessed it back when Lin Feng was still a Xian-level cultivator. Now, he had broken through to the Tian Chi layer. If he unsheathed his demon sword again, the consequences would probably be even more terrifying. Very quickly, Lin Feng arrived in a room with countless abstruse crystals all containing an incredible power. Lin Feng, let us go, someone shouted behind Lin Feng. Lin Feng ignored them and released his demon sealing strength. Boom! Lin Feng unsheathed his demon sword and demon chi rolled in waves in the atmosphere. Everybody was stopped in their tracks. What a terrifying sword! How could Lin Feng have such a powerful sword? Bei Ming, the leader of North Shandong, arrived too with Lei Mang next to him. Surprisingly, Lin Feng could use the demon sword without turning into a demon now. Had Lin Feng really killed Shi Ju Tian using his demon sword? Lin Feng turned around and coldly glanced at them. He raised his demon sword and cut the abstruse crystals, causing many crystals to rise up in the air. Then, Lin Feng used his Xiaoyao agility technique and grabbed them all, quickly putting them in his ring. Lin Feng turned around and shouted, "Piss off, everyone." His demon sword lacerated the space, pushing everybody back. Nobody was willing to block that attack. They could only watch as Lin Feng used his Xiaoyao agility technique to run away. Don't let him run. Otherwise, we'll die in here, shouted someone furiously. Everybody chased Lin Feng, but it was too late. Lin Feng quickly left. The crowd in the palace, the Dragon King, Duan Wu Dao, Bei Ming. They all hated Lin Feng. Hating him was all they could do now because they were still his prisoners. Lin Feng didn't think about how the people in the palace felt. He breathed in a big mouthful of air once he arrived in the desert. The Jade Emperor's palace turned into a heart again and Lin Feng put it away. He probably had enough abstruse crystals for Yen Di. Lin Feng left the parallel world and sealed it again. He went back to Cheong Chi and said, "Here are your abstruse crystals. Which ones do you want? Give me all of them. I can use any of them. I will be able to deploy a great strength with any of them," said Cheong Chi, sounding self-confident. Lin Feng just had to give him the proper ingredients and he would be able to work out something with them. But Lin Feng didn't give him the crystals immediately. He stared at Cheong Chi with uncertainty, infuriating Cheong Chi, "You don't believe me. It's not that, it's just that you used to be an emperor. You have many powers. If you use those crystals to practice cultivation, what could I do to stop you, said Lin Feng. The emperor probably knew many tricks. If he used the crystals to fight against him, he would probably lose. Well then, don't ask me anything anymore, said Xiong Qi furiously. Don't be angry. He. Lin Feng smiled. I will be next to you when you use your techniques. This way I can watch you if you try to sneak away with some crystals, and I will be able to learn your technique. Of course, if you agree to teach me some things directly, it's even better, and I will be very grateful. Xiong Qi remained silent. He stared at Lin Feng and said, Teach you. Dream on. Chapter 900. Poor Emperor Xiong Qi was using its claws to carve something into the ground. Even though it wasn't using any strength, Lin Feng felt delighted. It seemed like those carvings contained something mystical. They looked like mysterious marks but didn't contain any strength yet. Xiong Qi kept moving and carving. From time to time, it looked at Lin Feng in a cold way and said confidently, Back in the day, I could carve those marks with an incredible strength in them. If I recovered my full strength, I'd crush Zun cultivators without batting an eye. Now, you, a little piece of trash, a nobody, makes me carve these marks one by one. It's for your safety. If we manage to secure the palace, even if a Zun cultivator comes, we'll be able to kill him in one strike, said Lin Feng while smiling. Yan Di was cooperating, so Lin Feng had to give him face. In the past, Yan Di's temper must have been really bad. He was proud. Of course, different circumstances required different reactions. If Yan Di recovered his initial cultivation level, he'd be insanely dangerous again. Don't worry. When I finish protecting the palace, a trivial and feudal Zun cultivator will never be able to get in, instead they will be killed instantly, said Xiong Qi. At that moment, he looked solemn. He wasn't acting aggressively with Lin Feng. Lin Feng laughed and observed Xiong Qi's movements carefully, but he couldn't understand anything. Those mysterious marks contained the absolute strength of the earth and the sky, an explosive strength. Xiong Qi hadn't put the abstruse crystals in the marks yet. Lin Feng was delighted. Protecting the whole palace would put him at ease in the future. He had never seen so many mysterious marks at once. How powerful must this protection be? It only took Yan Di a few hours to carve marks into the entire palace. Xiong Qi stood up and waved, almost like a human being. Lin Feng was surprised. You finished that quickly, said Lin Feng in a febrile voice. Quickly? Back in the day, I could do that in the blink of an eye. It took me so much effort and time that I'm actually quite upset, said Xiong Qi while stretching its claws. Give me the abstruse crystals, I need to put them in the marks. Lin Feng unwillingly handed him over his ring. Xiong Qi released bestial qi, and in a flash, the marks started shining brightly. His bestial qi started flowing through the marks, making the entire palace shine. Xiong Qi took out an abstruse crystal and put its energy in the marks, and the lights instantly disappeared as if nothing had happened. That's fine too, Lin Feng rolled his eyes. Abstruse crystals contained an incredible amount of energy, abstruse strength. The lights in the marks kept appearing and disappearing. Then, the marks disappeared completely as if they never existed in the first place. Lin Feng inspected them with his godly awareness but couldn't see anything either. No need to try. I carved the marks in a way that even Zun cultivators wouldn't be able to see them, said Xiong Qi. You finished so quickly, said Lin Feng again, smiling heartily. Bullshit. You're making fun of me, but I'm telling you, if a Zun cultivator comes, he'll die instantly. I wouldn't dare make fun of you, said Lin Feng while laughing. Lin Feng stretched out his hand and pet Xiong Qi's head. What the hell do you think you're doing, said Xiong Qi angrily. Give me back the ring with the crystals, said Lin Feng. Xiong Qi looked furious and said, You bastard. Give it to me at once, said Lin Feng. Xiong Qi wasn't happy. You need to relax, my friend, said Lin Feng gently and then giggled. The marks I carved can only kill Zun cultivators. If cultivators of the Tian Qi layer come, you'll have to be here to fend them off yourself, said Qiong Qi furiously. And he then threw the ring at Lin Feng. Lin Feng was speechless. It could only kill Zun cultivators. How did it make sense that they could kill Zun cultivators but not Tian level ones? Qiong Qi started leaving, but Lin Feng chased him, laughed and said in a gentle way, Yan Di, you're a great emperor. If Tian level cultivators come, I bet you could easily defeat them. Piss off, said Qiong Qi proudly. Yan Di, if Tian level cultivators come here and threaten you, wouldn't that insulting to your title? You'd certainly have to kill them, right? Yan Di, Lin Feng's voice spread far away into the distance. He was a bit annoyed, but Qiong Qi ignored him. Yan Di, if people came here to get their revenge, I hope that you will take care of them. If you make a mistake, bastard, shouted Qiong Qi furiously. Its voice spread far away. How shameless, that bastard was threatening him again. Lin Feng was lying on a stone, looking at Qiong Qi with a big smile on his face. It seemed like he was busy doing something. A great emperor. If a Zun cultivator came, he'd certainly died. Yan Di was scary. Maybe Yan Di could create a nice environment practicing cultivation, then all of Xueyu would benefit. But Yan Di's temper was too much. It was difficult to get him to do anything without him threatening Lin Feng. He wanted to learn a few skills from him but that seemed impossible. He would definitely find a way to learn things from him in the future. Poor Qiong Qi, he was busy carving marks and creating deployment skills and Lin Feng was just lying down without a care in the world. After a short while, Qiong Qi glanced at Lin Feng. Is it all right? Asked Lin Feng while smiling. Yes. Qiong Qi nodded. That's, Lin Feng looked delighted and pet Qiong Qi's head, making him grind his teeth. He gave back the ring once more to Lin Feng and said, I don't give a damn about your abstruse crystals. To me, they're just normal stones. Of course. You were a great emperor and you've seen incredible treasures, said Lin Feng while laughing. You've worked hard, you should have a rest now. Indeed, said Qiong Qi and then disappeared. Very quickly, Qiong Qi disappeared to another place, opened its mouth and spat out a few abstruse crystals. The poor emperor, surprisingly, had taken a few abstruse crystals. Chapter 901, Courting Death, Kacha. Qiong Qi put an abstruse crystal in its mouth and nibbled on it. It seemed like it was suffering. In the distance, Lin Feng was sitting. He made his awareness go out of his body and saw everything Qiong Qi was doing. Is that possible? Surprisingly, Qiong Qi was eating pure abstruse crystals. Lin Feng smiled wryly and shook his head. Whatever Lin Feng thought, Qiong Qi used to be an emperor. His current condition was tragic. Even though Lin Feng knew that Qiong Qi had stolen abstruse crystals, but he didn't try and prevent him from doing so. Lin Feng breathed in deeply and started studying the marks Qiong Qi made as well as his deployment skills. At the same time, people in Shandong were recognizing Shi Ju Tian's disappearance, so they sent some people to find him. They had heard that all the strong cultivators they dispatched had probably died in Xueyu. The Firmament Empire was situated between Miqing City and Xueyu in the Xueyu region. At that moment, in a huge palace of the Firmament Empire, someone was sitting on a throne. However, that person wasn't an official of the Firmament Empire. The actual leader of the Firmament Empire was sitting below them and looked scared. Someone arrived at the gate of the palace. The one sitting on the throne said, "Come in." The one waiting outside walked into the palace and bowed in front of the leader in a solemn and respectful way. "We have some news from Xueyu. The group from Shandong didn't manage to capture Lin Feng." That person was surprised. His eyes twinkled and he released powerful qi. The group Shandong had dispatched, led by Shi Ju Tian, wasn't enough to capture Lin Feng. Really? It is said that they were all killed in Xueyu. They all died. The strong cultivator was astonished. Even though Shi Ju Tian wasn't the strongest cultivator of Shandong, he was extremely strong. How could he have failed to capture a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer? Did Tian Qi send people to help? I don't know of anyone from Tian Qi being in Yangzhou City. Some Tian-level beasts seem to have helped Lin Feng, said that person. The news had surprised that person as well. They all didn't understand how Lin Feng could have killed all those people in Yangzhou City. The monarch remained silent. He rolled up his long sleeves and said coldly, Zun cultivators from Shandong will probably go and avenge Shi Ju Tian and the others. If that's the case, it won't be easy anymore. We need to go to Xueyu as soon as possible. We can't allow Lin Feng's treasures to fall into anyone else's hands than Jade Heaven. Indeed, said that person, again in a solemn and respectful way. Shandong thought that nobody knew that they had sent people to Xueyu. They thought that they were carrying out top-secret operations. In fact, Jade Heaven controlled everything. Only they knew what the treasures from the mysterious world were, and only they knew how to use their ancestors' treasures. Initially, they had thought that Shi Ju Tian would succeed and then they would have killed him and captured Lin Feng themselves. However, Shi Ju Tian had disappeared. After a short while, a group of people left the palace of the Firmament Empire. Those people all had a mysterious and unfathomable qi. However, after that group of people left, some new people appeared outside of the palace. They looked back at those who were leaving. Those people were wearing dragon robes and looked incredibly powerful. They must all be strong cultivators from the East Sea Dragon Palace. Jade Heaven was spying on Shandong while the East Sea Dragon Palace secretly knew the relations between Jade Heaven and the Emperor's tomb in the mysterious world. Therefore, they knew that Jade Heaven would never give up on Lin Feng, so the East Sea Dragon Palace spied on Jade Heaven instead. Everybody's goal was the same, capturing Lin Feng, or more precisely, stealing his treasures. In fact, nobody really knew what Lin Feng had obtained. He had something, for sure, but they could only guess what it was. People who really knew had disappeared or died. As far as Lin Feng was concerned, he had no idea that so many strong cultivators were after him, but he understood that he had offended many people. It was because of this that he asked Yan Di for help and had asked him to protect the whole palace. The next day, in a beautiful place inside the palace, Lin Feng was sitting on a chair with Xue Ling Long crouching gently on his shoulder. Xin Yi was there too, she was painting. From time to time, she would look over at Lin Feng without stopping what she was doing. Sister, you paint so well, said Xiaoya with admiration. Xue Ling Long jumped off Lin Feng's shoulder and looked at the drawing too. She looked inspired by its beauty. It was a portrait of a young man, he was sitting and looked both calm and serene. The landscape around him was astonishingly beautiful too. There was a very cute little white animal perched on his shoulder, its fur was snowy white. Xue Ling Long jumped onto Xin Ye's shoulder and put her paws on Xin Ye's face. Xin Yi smiled in a gentle way, looked at Xue Ling Long and said, Meng Qing, sister, you will always be the most beautiful one. Xue Ling Long rubbed her furry head against Xin Yi, it was just adorable. Lin Feng smiled and stood up. That painting was so beautiful, he couldn't help but smile in a sweet and gentle way. Lin Feng, get the hell out here. At that moment, someone shouted furiously from outside. That voice contained an incredible strength so everybody heard what they said very clearly. Lin Feng was startled as he raised his head and looked at the horizon. Finally, they came, thought Lin Feng. He had waited for a long time for someone to kill him. Xin Yi, Meng Qing, don't come out with me, just stay here. Said Lin Feng, still smiling. Xin Yi nodded and Lin Feng left in the direction whence the voice had come. Chapter 902, Strong Cultivator's Death. A short while after, Lin Feng arrived outside of the palace. There was a group of people proudly standing in the sky. Their chi was so cold that ordinary people would freeze if they approached them. Because of Lin Feng, people from Shandong and more precisely, people from East Shandong and North Shandong, had disappeared in the mysterious world. Shiju Tian, West Shandong's leader and his group of people had come to Yangzhou City, but have also disappeared. Out of 4 districts, only one remained, South Shandong. Lin Feng. Lin Feng had already seen the leader of that group. It was the Zun cultivator who had once taught Lin Feng a few things. After the great competition of Shuiyu, they traveled back to Shandong and met with a Zun cultivator. Lin Feng, long time no see. You've already killed the leaders of 3 districts from Shandong. What should I do with you, said the Zun cultivator in cold way. Lin Feng looked at his interlocutor in a neither haughty, nor humble, and neither servile nor overbearing way. Mister, you should understand my position, I had no choice. If I hadn't killed those people, they would have killed me. Did I have a choice? And me? Do I have a choice? You've killed so many of my people. I obviously can't forgive you. So what? Do you want to kill me too? Said the Zun cultivator, staring at Lin Feng. His voice contained an incredible energy. He didn't sound furious but he did sound majestic. Mister, you know that I had no choice. However, even though we met only once, you taught me some things, I would never want to kill you. Therefore, I hope that you can just leave of your own free will, said Lin Feng as if he had been talking about something normal. However, people from Shandong were flabbergasted. So, according to Lin Feng, the thing is, he didn't wish to kill the Zun cultivator. He wanted the Zun cultivator to leave on his own free will. How arrogant! How audacious! The Zun cultivator was just astonished. He looked at Lin Feng in a strange way. How can you be so confident? The Zun cultivator was intrigued. Lin Feng, surprisingly, stated that he didn't want to kill him. I like to be magnanimous. I never wanted to be enemies with Shandong. However, Shandong keeps chasing me. As far as you and I are concerned, we are not enemies at all. Therefore, I don't want to fight you and I wish even less for your death. So the best thing for the both of us is for you to leave. Lin Feng sounded friendly, neither proud nor arrogant. He was just calm. It seems like you really obtained incredible treasures in the mysterious world. Shiju Tian and the others came and you killed them all. Now, you sound like you're defying the laws of the universe. What kind of deadly weapons have you obtained to act so confidently? I really wish I could see them, said the Zun cultivator. The other people from Shandong were surprised and looked back at Lin Feng. The Zun cultivator was right. Shiju Tian and the others had come and had been killed by Lin Feng. On top of that, Lin Feng really sounded self-confident, he wasn't pretending. Therefore, he really might have obtained a deadly weapon. Everybody was suddenly even more interested in Lin Feng. Mister, I have already said everything I wish to say on the topic. If you keep insisting and really want to kill me, then I will not be able to remain magnanimous. I will have to kill you, said Lin Feng calmly. The Zun cultivator sighed, it's too bad before, Bei Ming had eyes but couldn't see. He made a terrible mistake. I don't want to be your enemy but because of Shandong, I have to kill you. Never mind, I really want to see the Jade Emperor's precious treasures too. As you wish, said Lin Feng. If they had a clear conscience and really wanted to kill him, he had done his best to solve the situation peacefully. The Zun cultivator didn't attack immediately. He looked around before saying in a detached way, since everyone is already looking at us, no need to hide the head and show the tail. From the horizon, many people appeared and flew over. Their chi was incredible. However, they were not from Shandong. Jade Heaven, the East Sea Dragon Palace, it seems like you've been spying on us for quite a long time, said the Zun cultivator. Surprisingly, both Jade Heaven and the East Sea Dragon Palace had sent a Zun cultivator. That proved that they considered Lin Feng a threat. The Zun cultivator from Shandong knew that those influential groups had been spying on them since the beginning. They just wanted to use Shandong. However, they were unable to conceal themselves. They were afraid that the Zun cultivator from Shandong would kill Lin Feng and leave with the treasures if they were too far away. Hee hee. Of course, we also want to see Lin Feng's precious treasures with our own eyes, said the leader of the group from the East Sea Dragon Palace. He didn't sound upset, just majestic. He was looking at Lin Feng in a strange way. At the same, he confirmed what the Zun cultivator from Shandong had guessed, Lin Feng definitely had a deadly weapon. Same here, said Jade Heaven's leader. He also thought that Lin Feng had obtained a precious treasure from the Jade Emperor's palace. He really wanted to know what his ancestors had left behind and what happened in the mysterious world. Huang Feng had a map of the Jade Emperor's palace, how could he lose to Lin Feng? All this was a mystery that only Lin Feng could explain. Shandong, the East Sea Dragon Palace, Jade Heaven. Lin Feng glanced at them all. Someday, when I reach the clouds, I will pay you all a visit in order to express my gratitude for your kind attitudes. You are facing 3 Zun cultivators and surprisingly, you're still thinking that you will reach the clouds someday. I wonder if your self-confidence is really founded or if you are just ignorant. Even if you have an amazing weapon, I doubt it could help you defeat 3 Zun cultivators. Said the Zun cultivator from the East Sea Dragon Palace, 1 strike and you could die. Lin Feng glanced at him and fearlessly said, many people from the East Sea Dragon Palace have told me such things before. However, they're all buried now. Maybe that it's your turn now. Lin Feng abruptly turned around and ran back into the palace. Where are you going? Do you think you can escape? Said the Zun cultivator. An incredible amount of strength from the earth and sky appeared in his hand. Die. At the same time, the Zun cultivators from Shandong and from Jade Heaven followed him. They wanted to see what kind of treasure Lin Feng would use to fight against 3 Zun cultivators. How could Lin Feng fight against 3 Zun cultivators? However, at that moment, it seemed like some mysterious marks started to glow. In the blink of an eye, they became dazzling and everything in the palace was wrapped up in those dazzling lights. It seemed like they had been cut off from the outside world. Ruahar. Boom. Tsh, the wind whizzed, flames roared, ice and frost were freezing the atmosphere, sword chi was lacerating the firmament. In the palace, a terrifying fire strength suddenly started flowing through the mysterious marks, an apocalyptic strength. What's going on? The facial expression of the 3 Zun cultivators suddenly changed and they looked nervous. They could sense that their chi was constricted by the abstruse energy. Fire and sword abstruse energies were attacking them and it seemed like it was the end of the world. Kacha, people's hearts were pounding. Tian-level cultivators were terrified, especially those who were near the Zun cultivators. Their bodies had already started to disintegrate. What kind of strength is that? Many people were shouting desperately. What kind of sorcery was that? We're doomed. They were doomed and they knew it. Chapter 903, Panic Attack, BZZZ. BZZZ, inside the palace, people from Shueyu were shaking as well. What kind of powers did the palace of their country have? It seemed like the world was going to collapse. Mysterious marks, how's that possible? The attackers were astonished. Shueyu was an insignificant country, how could it have deadly mysterious marks? Lin Feng. The attackers were furious, but Lin Feng looked calm and detached. He was just observing the scene. Zun cultivators or not, you're going to die. In a flash, an infinity of deadly energies came out of the marks and horrible shrieks sounded. No one could see anything anymore because the atmosphere was completely distorted. There were many abstruse crystals buried in those marks, making the strength of the marks incredibly powerful. If Zun cultivators decided to use their own abstruse strength, the marks would absorb it immediately and would only strengthen the marks. In a flash, the 3 cultivators died as their souls were torn apart. Before dying, one could see absolute fear on their face. Such talented cultivators. Everybody admired them. However, in a flash, they had wasted everything. They died trying to kill a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer. All their dreams had vanished in the blink of an eye. Apart from the 3 Zun cultivators who died, a myriad of Tian-level cultivators who were with them also died. They weren't able to resist more than a few seconds. Their bodies were immediately torn apart. The marks had twinkled for a few more seconds as a myriad more of cultivators died. Those who stood farther away and hadn't died, but were seriously injured. How had all those people died? Shameless cheater, said someone coldly. Who would have thought that there would be hidden traps in the palace of Xueyu, deadly to the extent that even Zun cultivators couldn't resist? People from 3 powerful empires came to my palace, a trivial country such as Xueyu, 3 Zun cultivators and many Tian-level cultivators. They all wanted to kill me, a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer. And you dare say I am shameless, said Lin Feng. If he hadn't thought of a solution, he would be the one dead now. Those Tian-level cultivators looked at the marks as they progressively disappeared. Maybe they could be used only once. Die, shouted someone furiously, throwing themselves at Lin Feng. Lin Feng's silhouette flickered as he used his agility technique and appeared somewhere else. He was standing next to Yu Menghe, Lin Hai and the others. Kill him. The strength disappeared, shouted the enemies furiously. Boom. Boom boom boom. A terrifying strength appeared. However, it was immediately absorbed by the ground and they started shaking violently. Slash, slash, deadly energies spread through the air towards their direction. The attackers died one after the other and their bodies fell down from the air. It wasn't the same kind of strength as the one which had killed the Zun cultivators. Anyone who used pure Qi were killed by those lights. In a flash, all those attackers died and their corpses fell to the ground. The remaining attackers were speechless and started shaking with fear even more. So many people were dying so quickly. People from Xueyu could easily hide in that palace, and they were safe. The attackers realized that using pure Qi in the palace was impossible, anyone who tried would die. Lin Feng smiled. He slowly walked forwards and looked at the remaining attackers. There were 5 people left. In the blink of an eye, so many strong cultivators had died. Yandi's marks were terrifying, making Lin Feng think that in the future, he should be nicer to him. Even though he hates me, I don't think he wants to kill me, thought Lin Feng. Otherwise, he could have easily plotted against him. Dear sirs, do you still want to kill me? Said Lin Feng while smiling devilishly. He hadn't released an iota of Qi, those 5 didn't know whether to attack or not. Hearing Lin Feng's mockery made them furious. They were glaring back at him. It seems like you don't feel like arguing with me anymore, said Lin Feng mockingly and smiling indifferently. Those 5 people were furious but couldn't do anything. The Zun cultivators had died. Tian-level cultivators who were stronger than them died as well. Shouldn't they run away? Being in the palace of Xueyu was way too dangerous. It seemed like nobody could kill Lin Feng once inside or even near it. How had Lin Feng obtained such powers? You have no choice here, die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He used his Xiaoyao agility technique and punched a cultivator of the Tian Qi layer. The others were astonished, Lin Feng actually possessed such strength. Boom! One punch was enough to kill these cultivators. Lin Feng's enemy didn't even have the chance to counterattack. The 4 others released their own pure Qi when they saw that, they were determined to remain extremely vigilant. Lin Feng smiled at them as if it was nothing. For more to go, said Lin Feng while smiling like this was a sport. The 4 others looked terrified. What could they do? They thought that Lin Feng was just a piece of trash. Now, they thought that he was demoniac. Lin Feng, wait till I go back to the sect and inform them, they will definitely kill you and everyone in this palace, threatened one of the four while slowly inching back. Destroy my palace? People from the East Sea Dragon Palace can all come here if they want, I will kill them all, and you are no exception, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He released bestial chi and that person abruptly turned around as several gigantic shadows came towards him. He stopped and released as much chi as he could. Slash, a deadly light pierced through the atmosphere and cut through his body. 3 more, said Lin Feng, still smiling. The 3 remaining cultivators' hearts were pounding. They were terrified. Kill him, shouted Lin Feng furiously. The snow eagles flew towards one enemy. He released a lot of chi, but just as he was readying to mobilize that energy, sword intent pierced through his body and killed him. 2 people, said Lin Feng smiling in a resplendent way. He was driving them crazy. Chapter 904, Killing in Shandong. In the Shuiyu region, Miqing City was surrounded by a mysterious cloud. A seemingly ordinary old man went inside. Besides his normal appearance, his speed was astonishing. Someone thought that they had just seen a shadow, as if there had been someone, but there definitely wasn't anyone there. The old man crossed the clouds with incredible speed before stopping. He didn't say anything, he just calmly looked around. A long time passed and the clouds in front of the old man dispersed and a gate appeared as well as a person. That person was surprised to see the old man and said in a cold way, "Who are you? Do you know where you are?" The old man said nothing. He just crossed the gate. The person at the gate wanted to stop him but he couldn't move his body. When the old man disappeared from his field of vision, his body continued to freeze and he eventually froze to death. Some more people saw the old man. "Stop right now," shouted 2 of them. Many people came to that direction when they heard the shout. Surprisingly, an uninvited old man had entered Shandong. However, it suddenly started snowing and a blade-sharp wind began blowing. The atmosphere was chilling to the bone. The old man kept running without saying anything. However, it seemed like the piercingly cold chi came from his body. Gotcha, gotcha. Everybody who tried to stop immediately froze and became as motionless as an ice statue. Nobody could escape this fate. "Hurry up, call the Zun cultivators," said someone hastily. There was a myriad of frozen people already. Nobody dared to try and stop the old man anymore. They knew they couldn't. Anyone who approached him turned into a statue. Shandong was turning into a landscape of desolation. People didn't have time to get near the old man before they were already frozen. Many strong cultivators came towards that direction, but when they saw the landscape full of frozen people, their facial expression changed drastically. Shandong's people started to think that they had never seen such a tragedy, it would probably be the first and last time they would. Finally, Shandong's Zun cultivators were notified. Even though who were in a state of meditation practicing cultivation, someone had come to destroy Shandong. The old man seemed like he was having a walk in a garden, he seemed quite relaxed. However, each of his steps terrified people. Was he going to freeze Shandong's entire territory? "Who are you, dear friend? You should have warned us that you were coming so we could welcome you properly," said someone very far away. Finally, a Zun cultivator was coming out. A terrifying chi spread in the form of a whirlwind. It seemed like that chi was attempting to thaw out the ice. An unknown person not worth mentioning. Shandong is not a restricted area, so if I want to come, I can as I wish. "Why would I need to inform anyone?" said the old man calmly. He didn't stop running. He sounded very confident. "Dear friend, you sound like you despise Shandong," said the Zun cultivator from Shandong. His chi was lacerating the air and breaking through the old man's ice. Shandong's people looked delighted. A Zun cultivator had come out and his skills were certainly extraordinary. They hoped he would kill the old man. The old man looked at the hurricane without much emotion. He immediately stepped on the wind and released more ice energy. The hurricane immediately froze. Abstruse ice energy, it could freeze anything in the world. The Zune cultivator from Shandong didn't look happy at all. The old man was terrifyingly strong and didn't seem to like Shandong very much. "Dragon, kill," shouted the Zune cultivator from Shandong. He made gestures with both his hands and in a flash, a dragon-shaped hurricane appeared. It whirled around the old man and divided into 8 parts, attempting to attack the old man from every side. "Freeze," said the old man. The terrifying dragon made of wind instantly froze. The Zune cultivator from Shandong was astonished. "Gotcha, gotcha." The atmosphere was freezing around the Zune cultivator now. If he couldn't protect Shandong, who would? His facial expression changed drastically. He punched the frozen atmosphere and a vortex of wind appeared. At the same time, the old man jumped forward and punched another side of the ice block. The atmosphere trembled as ice energy appeared on every side. His facial expression changed drastically. A tornado appeared around him, but the old man shook his hand as strident sounds could be heard. The old man seemed to be absorbing the ice into his hands as well as everything else, including the Zune cultivator. Die, the Zune cultivator from Shandong turned into a hurricane. However, the old man punched it again and the abstruse ice energy penetrated into the wind dragon. Again, the wind froze and slowly stopped. The Zune cultivator's body also started to freeze. He looked astonished and even scared. Punished heart, the old man moved his hands. Break, the old man shook his hand and in a flash, the Zune cultivator's heart which was frozen started to break apart. Die, the old man moved his hand again and the dragon-shaped hurricane broke apart as well. The Zune cultivator and all of his strength had turned into a block of ice. A Zune cultivator from Shandong was killed by an old man. Chapter 905, 2 news items, Roar. In the distance, a terrifying wind appeared. It was filled with incredible energies that shook the earth and sky. Another Zune cultivator was coming and he was furious. Someone dared kill their people in their own territory, including a Zune cultivator. The old man raised his hand and glanced at him calmly. The old man seemed like he was in another world, a world made of ice. The world of cultivation is ruthless. Tian Xian makes the sky shake. The old man remained motionless. Terrifying energies dashed to the skies. At that moment, it seemed like he could control the earth and sky. It seemed like he just had to breathe to move the strength of the earth and sky. Suffocate, shouted the old man furiously while punching in front of him. It seemed like the earth and the sky were turning upside down with this punch. Boom, 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 the atmosphere fell apart. The Zune cultivator hadn't arrived yet but he was already shaking violently. His heartbeat suddenly accelerated. He felt oppressed, like he couldn't attack anymore. At the same time, a terrifying and powerful strength crashed onto his body. Suddenly, his face turned deathly pale. His body looked distorted and he had no more strength. Die, the old man jumped and appeared in front of him. He raised his fist which were filled with an incredible strength. Boom boom boom, the crowd was suddenly crushed down onto the ground and blood splashed out of their mouths. They looked like they were in terrible pain. The Zune cultivator was propelled backwards. His body was torn apart, his soul had broken apart, and he died. The old man looked at the crowd. He didn't look like an ordinary old man anymore. He looked like a strong and invincible cultivator. I came to Shandong to tell you all that you can't harass my disciples as you wish. I am from Tianqi. Next time, I won't come alone. After that, the old man immediately disappeared. Tianqi. The crowd was dumbfounded. The old man was from Tianqi and he had just killed a myriad of people in Shandong, including 2 Zune cultivators. In the distance, 2 more Zune cultivators appeared. When they arrived and saw the desolate landscape, a gloomy expression appeared on their face. "Let's follow him," said one of them. The other one nodded. "Wait," said someone coldly at that moment. The two others immediately stopped, turned around and looked at that person in a respectful way. "If you follow him, you're going to die," that person explained. The others looked vexed. Was the old man from Tianqi that strong? Would the two Zun cultivators die if they followed him? For them, the Zun cultivators of Shandong were incredible, almost like gods. They forgot that even in the world of Zun cultivators, there were cultivators of different levels. A single level could equate to huge level differences between Zun cultivators. "Shandong has never been so humiliated," said one of the Zun cultivators, not happy about the other's decision. A man had killed a myriad of people, a huge number of Tian level and Xian level cultivators, two Zun cultivators. Shandong's reputation was ruined. "If we want to get our revenge, we need to become stronger," said the one who had just arrived. He said this in a calm way while gazing into the distance. A few hundred years ago, two peerless cultivators rose up in Tianqi. One became the leader of Tianji and the other one became the leader of Tianxian. Nobody was as strong as them in the Ganyu region. Later on, they both left Tianqi. They wanted to go on a cultivation trip to become even stronger. They gave Tianxian and Tianji to their disciples. Nowadays, there's no need to mention how strong the leader of Tianji is. Besides, Tianxian's leader is introverted and many people think that he's a terrible cultivator. Nobody knows that when he had just become a Zun cultivator, he killed 3 Zun cultivators who had teamed up against him. Tianxian's leader is precisely the man who just came here. The 2 Zun cultivators were speechless. The old man who had just attacked Shandong and killed 2 Zun cultivators was that scary? The one who was talking glanced at the 2 Zun cultivators and said, "You want to ask me how I know that, right? Amongst the 3 Zun cultivators who got killed by him, one of them was my fellow disciple." The 2 Zun cultivators' hearts were pounding. The story they had just heard happened such a long time ago. Well, how strong was the old man now though? "So then, can we forget about that and let him off?" said one of the Zun cultivators, obviously still not satisfied. "Of course, we won't. Shandong is now riddled with gaping wounds, so we can't afford to be careless anymore. I will inform our leader, from now on, Shandong isn't divided into 4 districts. There will only be one Shandong and only one leader," said that person. He rolled up his sleeves and suddenly disappeared. He was also furious. In the imperial palace of Shuiyu in Yangzhou City, the 2 remaining cultivators wanted to escape. However, one of them ran into the illusion and died. Lin Feng didn't kill the other one though. He let him leave. Lin Feng wanted that cultivator to go and inform his group about what happened. He wanted everyone to understand that if they came to Shuiyu with evil intentions, they would die. Lin Feng couldn't stay in Yangzhou City the whole time. Therefore, he needed people to talk about what happened and how dangerous it was to challenge him inside of Yangzhou City. Then, he would be able to leave with peace of mind. After a short time, the news spread. Zun cultivators who went to Shuiyu with evil intentions would die there without question. Zun cultivators were amongst the best cultivators in the world. They had to understand that if they wanted to kill Lin Feng, they would have to find him outside of Shuiyu. The news spread everywhere, not only in Shuiyu and its surroundings. People in Ganyu were also astonished by the news. Shandong, Jade Heaven, the East Sea Dragon Palace. They all wanted to send Zun cultivators to Shuiyu to kill Lin Feng, but Lin Feng wasn't afraid. 3 Zun cultivators and a countless numbers of extremely strong cultivators died in Shuiyu and only one person was left alive to tell the tale. However, some other news spread that was just as astonishing if not more. Even though people had tried to hide the truth, nothing can remain a secret in the long run. When Shandong sent people to Shuiyu to kill Lin Feng, a strong cultivator from Tianqi went to Shandong and killed a countless numbers of Tian level and Xian level cultivators as well as 2 Zun cultivators. Then, he left as gloriously as he came. According to rumors, the leader of Tianqi, Mr. Tianji, had gone there for Lin Feng. He didn't like how everyone was attacking Lin Feng. According to other rumors, it was rather the leader of Tianxian who had gone there. Lin Feng was a member of Tianxian, so Tianxian wanted to protect their disciples. All in all, a bloodbath occurred in Shandong. No matter which rumor was true or not, they all had something to do with Lin Feng. It was incredible. As before, some people wondered why only the only people who had come out of the mysterious world alive were people from Tianqi. Nobody knew what had happened there. After that gossip spread, it seemed like Ganyu became calm again. Nobody would fight anymore. Nobody could go to Shuiyu because Zun cultivators could die there. It also seemed like Tianqi was rising up again. However, it was only the calm before the storm. Chapter 906, Danger in Tianqi. It was snowing in Tianqi and the snowflakes were beautiful, extremely beautiful even. There were 3 silhouettes in the sky above a valley. One of them was wearing a dragon robe and looked both proud and arrogant, as if he was the world leader. Next to him was a cultivator wearing a jade heaven robe. That person looked like an emperor, conceited and presumptuous, as if he were the world's emperor. The last person looked calm and was wearing a black robe with mysterious drawings on it. He looked scary. The leader from the East Sea Dragon Palace, King Dragon, Jade Heaven's leader, Prince Duanmu, Shandong's leader, Miaqing. Why did you come to Tianqi? Someone said from the distance. 7 people arrived very quickly. Those 7 were the leaders of Tianqi's 7 snowy peaks. King Dragon was the East Sea Dragon Palace's leader. Jade Heaven's leaders were always called Prince since they considered themselves as the Emperor's children, and finally, Shandong's leader was Miaqing. Those people were the leaders of the most influential groups in the Ganyu region, and at that moment, they had all gathered together. So, of course, the leaders of the 7 snowy peaks had to show some face. Your disciple came to the East Sea Dragon Palace a while back and killed my people, he even killed my disciples. You must hand Lin Feng over now, said King Dragon indifferently. However, Lin Feng having killed Duan Wuya wasn't the only problem which existed between the East Sea Dragon Palace and Lin Feng. Almost everybody disappeared in the mysterious world. Tianqi's people are the only ones who came back. I want explanations, said Duanmu coldly. Tianxian leader, you came to Shandong because of Lin Feng, and killed many of my strong cultivators. You even killed 2 Zun cultivators. Can you explain to me why, said Miaqing. They all had similar reasons for coming to Tianqi, Lin Feng. Dragon King, the problem between Lin Feng and you is because you sent people to kill those closest to Lin Feng. He killed some of your people because he wanted to get his revenge. What's wrong with that? Now you come here and tell me you want me to hand him over. I'm sorry, said Mr. Tianji. Then, he looked at Duanmu. Duanmu, what you said is even more groundless. Many influential groups from Ganyu went into the mysterious world to acquire precious treasures. Everybody knew that it was a matter of life and death. Your people died, my people survived, how could I explain why? That's ridiculous. As far as you are concerned, Miaqing, you sent people to kill my disciple. How could I tolerate that? What should I tell you? Mr. Tianji was talking loudly and glancing at those people challengingly. So if you came here to talk nonsense, you can go back. Whether you want Lin Feng or explanations, I can't give you either. People from Tianqi take themselves seriously, said Miaqing laughing. Too bad, Tianqi was rising up again. Now it seems like you want to go back to your good old state, a bunch of no-goods. Miaqing, if you wanted to get your revenge, you could come back with people and try to kill Tianqi's people. Maybe that, after all the fighting, Shandong would lose everything then, said Mr. Tianji in a sharp way. Mie Qing was threatening Tianqi, so Mr. Tianji had to be firm. Very good, said Dragon King smiling. Alright, so Tianqi is the greatest and controls the entire region of Ganyu. At least it seems that way considering how they despise everybody else. Then, we're off. But, we'll be back. Let's go, said Duanmu indifferently. Just as quickly as they came, they all left. After they left, Mr. Tianji frowned and said, we can't leave Tianqi for a while. We need to practice cultivation and become even stronger. Alright, said everyone nodding. It seemed like Tianqi was in danger. Humph, at that moment, someone groaned coldly. Lin Feng annoyed 3 influential groups. He even went to them and killed them. Now because of him, we're in danger. Mr. Shui, the Snow Zune cultivator, glanced back at Tian Shuzi. Are you from Tianqi? Tian Shuzi looked angry and pointed at the Snow Zune cultivator. You, that's enough, shouted Mr. Tianji furiously, interrupting Tian Shuzi. How dare you offend Tianqi? Even if nothing happened, you must follow Tianqi's rules. You must protect your fellow disciples. You can't forget that this is our religion. In any case, I don't think that they will come and attack anyways. But even if they tried, Tianqi isn't afraid. And on top of that, they probably wouldn't risk starting a war which could kill everyone. If that were to happen, they would also lose everything, said Mr. Tianji as he left. He had never thought that Shenggong, Jade Heaven and the East Sea Dragon Palace could join hands to attack them anyway, especially over some treasures. One day later, some news spread in Ganyu that a cultivator of the 9-Cloud Sword sect was outside, minding their own business, and someone froze them to death. It was said that the culprit was a person from Tianqi. According to another rumor, a disciple from the Xiaoyao sect was also frozen to death, and the culprit was believed to be a cultivator from Tianqi. Tianqi was at the center of all rumors in Ganyu. Another rumor spread that said the East Sea Dragon Palace, Jade Heaven and Shenggong had gathered in Asoka, an ancient city, to convoke all the sects of Ganyu. They wanted everybody to get together to fight against Tianqi. They wanted Tianqi to explain why their disciples were the only ones who had come out of the mysterious world and why the others had all disappeared. Tianqi had to give them an explanation. When the 9-Cloud Sword sect and the Xiaoyao sect heard about the meeting, they immediately headed for Asoka to join. They were also angry at Tianqi for their sudden power. Even though everybody understood clearly that the old tippler's delight didn't reside in the wine, they all wanted to take a chance and share the profits. Many people felt like it was a chance they couldn't miss. The situation was becoming dangerous for Tianqi. Many people were starting to head for Tianqi. Shenggong was using people's greed for their own benefit. That way, they wouldn't need to rely on their own strength to challenge Tianqi. At that moment, in Shuiyu, a sick-looking person with a yellow face was in Yangzhou City. It was obviously Lin Feng. He was riding Qiongqi, his ancient wild beast. Apart from people in Shuiyu, very few people knew about it. A beautiful snowy white animal was on Lin Feng's shoulder as well. From time to time, Qiongqi looked at Lin Feng with envy. Go! Lin Feng tapped Qiongqi's head violently and made him roar. He then said coldly, I'm warning you, if you dare touch her, I'll crush you. I won't. I'm a great emperor, I don't care about Shui Ling Long, shouted Qiongqi furiously. And also, I'm carrying you so you have to respect me. Lin Feng looked at Qiongqi and said, I understand you very well. You know many great places in the continent. I know you want to help me, but for now, just listen to me and don't hope for too much. Roar! Qiongqi roared furiously. He had to help Lin Feng because he was an animal now. He couldn't go wherever he wanted because people might try to capture him. Chapter 907, Proud young man Lin Feng stopped in a city in Ganyu. He arrived in a bar where there were many sorts of pickled vegetables and alcohol. Lin Feng was alone again. Lin Feng had left good things in Shuiyu. Mr. Hua and the other alchemists had also returned to the imperial palace in Shuiyu. Lin Feng used their ingredients to concoct powerful pills, including nature pills to help them. Xinyi wanted to stay with Lin Feng, but Lin Feng convinced her that it was impossible. There were too many dangers outside of Shuiyu and too many people wanted to kill him. Besides, Lin Feng had left Shuiyu now, so nobody would go there. They were interested in him, not in Shuiyu. Han Man and the others went on a trip on their own. Lin Feng was sipping on some hot unit which reminded him of Yu Yu and Jun and Mo Shi. He was wondering how strong they had become since he last saw them. With Zun cultivators as teachers, they had probably broken through to the Tian Qi layer already. They were very talented, and last time, they had already broken through to the 9th Xian Qi layer. Xiong Qi was crouching on a table. He grabbed a glass of alcohol with his claws and drank it. Everybody was surprised. What a funny animal, it enjoyed drinking alcohol. Lin Feng didn't mind. Xiong Qi used to be an emperor, poor thing. Just the thought softened Lin Feng's heart. Xiong Qi, at that moment, a voice resonated. The person seemed surprised. Xiong Qi really exists. I would have never thought that I would ever see that ancient animal, especially here in such a small place, someone else said. Someone had seemingly recognized Xiong Qi. Xiong Qi raised its head and coldly glanced at those people in a despising way. This surprised them. Amongst them was a young nobleman wearing white clothes who smiled. Xiong Qi is funny. The crowd gradually gathered. They wanted to see that extraordinary beast. They all had an imposing appearance, especially their leader. He was tall and handsome. On his side was a very beautiful woman wearing a green skirt. She had beautiful facial traits. She was wearing a beautiful necklace with a crystal on it that looked like an extraordinary jewel. Behind the young man was another young man wearing black clothes. He also looked extremely strong. Those three people were together and stood out the most. A Xiong Qi. Many people were looking at Xiong Qi now, intrigued by everyone else's interest. They were wondering how a sick-looking man could control a Xiong Qi. The young man with the white clothes walked towards Lin Feng. The young woman and the young man wearing black clothes followed him. "Can you exchange that Xiong Qi?" asked the young man in white clothes. At that moment, he also glanced at the snowy white furry animal on Lin Feng's shoulder. That animal looked extraordinary as well, but the young man in white clothes didn't know why exactly. Xue Ling Long also used a trick to transform into an ordinary-looking fox so people couldn't see how strong she was. Her mother had taught her how to do so. Lin Feng raised his head and glanced at those three people. They were all young, but they had all broken through to the Tian Qi layer. Lin Feng was surprised. In Ganyu, there were so many geniuses. In such a small town, he had already encountered three. "I'm sorry. You probably know that Xiong Qi is a precious animal, so I can't exchange it," said Lin Feng with a gentle smile on his face. That young man and the young woman with him were both very proud. Lin Feng thought that they belonged to a rich and powerful group, otherwise, why would they all be in such a small place, especially that young man in white clothes? He had already broken through to the 3rd Tian Qi layer. That was quite astonishing. "Don't worry, I won't rip you off. If you want anything, just tell me. Intent crystals, whatever, or maybe Tian level skills or techniques," said the young man in white clothes indifferently. The other people in the bar were shocked and looked at him with admiration. Intent crystals, Tian level skills and techniques, and it seemed so normal for that young man. As expected, thought Lin Feng smiling. He was right, he just didn't know which group that young man belonged to, but for him, intent crystals and Tian level skills and techniques were normal things. "If you want to have a drink or two, we can, however, I won't exchange my Xiong Qi," said Lin Feng smiling indifferently. "What if I want it no matter what it takes?" said the young man. His voice sounded slightly colder. A cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer was refusing an exchange. What a humiliation. It's alright. An exchange is already beneficial for you. No need to be boring. If you need something to cure your disease or make you look better, I have pills for that, said the young woman in a gentle voice, yet mockingly. Many people immediately got even more interested and wanted to see what would happen. Lin Feng was challenging the young man in white clothes. Lin Feng, with his yellow face, did look ugly. Lin Feng looked at the girl and smiled indifferently. Well, when I look at your face, my fine liquor seems tasteless. When you drink a fine liquor, you need to pay attention to whom you're looking at. If you look at a beautiful girl, the alcohol tastes sweet and rich, however, when I look at you, my alcohol is difficult to swallow. When the girl heard Lin Feng, she looked surprised. Her facial expression suddenly looked hideous. Lin Feng was making fun of her. I'll give you one chance only. You're going to trade your Qiong Qi and take back what you just said the young man in white clothes. He sounded proud and aggressive. Lin Feng shook his head and continued drinking, ignoring the young man. It's rare to talk to people who are as calm and indifferent as you, but usually they are very strong. I wonder how strong you are, said the young man, who didn't sound as furious as before. He was even smiling. The girl walked closer to Lin Feng and sat down at the table. The young man in black clothes was still standing there, motionless. His qi seemed to be very powerful and contained blood energy. It seemed that he had killed someone recently. If you had accepted our young master's proposition a moment ago, maybe you could have had the opportunity to know him. Unfortunately, you refused, so you might die now, said the young man in black clothes, as if getting to know the young man in white clothes was an honor. I don't care about your master, said Lin Feng while shaking his head. Then, he continued drinking his glass. He ignored the young man in black clothes who had broken through to the first Tian Qi layer, just like him. You don't know how to differentiate good from bad, said that young man in black clothes furiously. He jumped forwards. In a flash, he released very sharp energies. Lin Feng frowned. That qi seemed extremely powerful, and it contained very powerful intent. That man had probably killed many people. He had plenty of battle experience. Besides his strength, he was also very fast. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng was curious. That guy was a young master's servant and was already so strong. Interesting. Lin Feng stood up and ran backwards. The young man in black clothes followed him. He was very fast. He was using a special agility technique, it seemed. Lin Feng rose his fist and punched the young man's fist. When their fists collided, the young man in black clothes suddenly lost feeling in his arm. Lin Feng was so strong. The young man in white clothes seemed intrigued. He perfectly knew how strong the young man in black clothes was. He could easily defeat ordinary cultivators of the first Tian Qi layer, so he was very strong. However, Lin Feng pushed him back. See if you can get him to become my servant, said the young man in white clothes. He wanted Lin Feng to become his servant. He is obstinate and unruly. I don't like him, whispered the girl, shaking her head before adding, kill him. Lin Feng had humiliated her. All right, I'll kill him, said the young man in white clothes while smiling as if he could decide Lin Feng's fate in one sentence. Chapter 908, Strange Soul. At that moment, the young man in black clothes stretched his hand towards Lin Feng and a strange strength enveloped Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked expressionless as he punched the air in his opponent's direction. He was so strong that he didn't fear many people. Boom, their fists collided. Lin Feng sensed a strength fill up his fist which was painful. He could have lost his arm, it felt like. He released strength at the same time and crackling sounds could be heard. Piss off. Lin Feng jumped forward and the young man in black clothes groaned with pain as he was propelled backwards into a wall inside the bar. Parts of the wall fell down as the man was propelled into it. His arm was hanging loosely and was broken. "You're quite strong but not strong enough to defeat me," said the young man in white clothes indifferently. Lin Feng turned around and looked at him. He said indifferently, "Even though your cultivation level is higher than mine, you're nothing but a know-it-all. I can crush you in one strike." Both had sharp words. They stared at each other for a while before the young man in white clothes slowly stood up and issued a strong wind. The table in front of him even broke under the pressure. "I will teach you a lesson now," said the young man in white clothes while releasing an insane amount of energy. Lin Feng decided to release his fire energy. People quickly avoided the flames and moved away even though they wanted to watch. Level 5 Fire Intent. "How talented," said the young man smiling. From behind him, a terrifying black wind started blowing with strange marks in it. Slash, slash, gotcha, everybody who had stayed in the bar felt like they were suffocating. Explosions sounded as the bar was breaking apart. Lin Feng sensed a terrifying energy which almost made him suffocate. Apparently, that wind was very powerful. His fire intent was destroyed, worse yet, it was absorbed by the wind. "It's a soul." Lin Feng was not prepared for that. What a strange soul it was at that. He had rarely seen others with strong souls. But there was Duan Wudao and Duan Wuya who had the door seal soul. However, there was a strong correlation between a strong soul and a Zun cultivator's blood. Few people inherited a Zun cultivator's soul. Therefore, it could be assumed that most people only possessed ordinary souls. However, the young man in front of him wasn't ordinary. His soul alone could destroy intent, that was a powerful advantage. Have you never seen such a soul? You're such an ignorant weakling. The continent is vast, you can't imagine how many types of strong souls there are. I told you, I can easily kill you. The bar was already destroyed. Lin Feng and his opponent were fighting outside now. "No need to talk to a piece of trash, just kill him," said the girl in the background. She despised Lin Feng. "All right," said the young man. A strong wind started blowing again. Lin Feng moved back. Even with his physical strength, that wind would still hurt. Lin Feng knew that he could encounter extremely strong cultivators in the continent. They weren't like those cultivators of the second or third Tian Qi layer he easily killed before. "Master Tian Lin," shouted a few people at that moment. A group of people had arrived. The young man in white clothes turned around and nodded at them. The leader of the group saw that the young man was fighting and shook his hand. In a flash, a group of people surrounded Lin Feng. "Master Tian Lin, why would you fight such a person?" "It's an honor for them to fight you," said the leader of the group in a respectful way. "The patriarch told me to come and pick you up. Don't be angry, please." "No problem," said the young man in white clothes. The whirlwind behind him disappeared and went back into his body. The atmosphere became calm again and everyone finally exhaled. They had almost suffocated a moment before. "Master Tian Lin, the patriarch is waiting. They will take care of that person so there's no need for you to fight anymore." "All right. He humiliated the woman I love, so kill him and bring me back that Qiong Qi," said the young man. "No problem," said that person nodding. Then he said to the others, "Follow the orders." "Poor boy. He doesn't know he offended powerful people and missed an opportunity," said the young man in a despising way. Lin Feng was an insect to him. He turned around and left with his wife. "Those people are from the Xiaoyao sect. Were they talking about the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect just now?" Many people were whispering. "Who is that young man then? Who could it be for the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect to send people to pick him up? How prestigious." Many people were looking at Lin Feng. He was insane to provoke people with such high status. He had almost died a moment before, but now he was surrounded by Tian-level cultivators, so it would probably end the same, he would probably die. "Stupid boy," thought the crowd. That young man probably came because of the meeting in Ahsoka. Must be, Ahsoka is not far. He's probably going there. Lin Feng heard what those people were talking about. He didn't expect to meet people from the Xiaoyao sect there, and what meeting were they talking about? At that moment, a strong energy surrounded Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at them. Those people weren't weak. There was even one person who had broken through to the fourth Tian Qi layer. Lin Feng suddenly rose up in the air telling Qiong Qi to do the same. "Where do you think you're going?" shouted someone furiously. Lin Feng surprisingly wanted to escape. Impossible. Lin Feng moved very quickly. Humph! Those people groaned and started following Lin Feng using the Xiaoyao agility technique. Where did Lin Feng think he was going? Lin Feng glanced at those people and started using the Xiaoyao agility technique too. Those people were speechless. That was the Xiaoyao agility technique, the agility technique of their sect, the Xiaoyao sect. Lin Feng could use the Xiaoyao agility technique, how? On top of that, Lin Feng seemed to have mastered the technique even better than them. "Chase him," shouted someone furiously. All those people started chasing Lin Feng. They had to find out where he had learnt the Xiaoyao agility technique and then kill him. Chapter 909, Ahsoka City. Lin Feng had learnt the Xiaoyao agility technique from the Three Lives Demon. Even though his cultivation level was inferior to theirs, he was faster than them. After a short time, Lin Feng arrived in a desolate place and slowed down. "Humph! Where are you going?" shouted someone furiously. Many people were following him now. However, when they got near him, Lin Feng turned around and a demon seal stone appeared. "Kill him!" shouted someone furiously. Lin Feng threw his demon seal stone and ran away as fast as he could. The first two people felt oppressed, like they couldn't move any further. The strength of that demon seal stone was incredible. Their faces showed hints of worry as they knew they couldn't avoid it anymore. Boom boom boom. Explosions sounded as Lin Feng's strength, coupled with the power of the demon seal stone, killed those two strong cultivators and immediately reduced them to ashes. Lin Feng glanced at the others and continued moving. He was hiding his true identity so he couldn't use his full strength, otherwise people might recognize him. Therefore, he was attracting people to different corners to kill them. "He's got demon seal stones, be careful," shouted someone. Then, they continued using their Xiaoyao agility technique to chase Lin Feng. This time, they stayed in a group to avoid acting careless like the two others from before. Lin Feng took out a red sword which was full of thick blood qi. Lin Feng released a terrifying sword qi and his entire body turned into a sharp sword. At the same time, he released the qi of 1,000,000 swords. His sword qi dashed to the skies as his enemies hesitate for a second. Lin Feng then stopped in the air. "Be careful," shouted someone. They all stopped and looked up at Lin Feng. Lin Feng turned around and was smiling. "Are you tired? Don't be nervous." Lin Feng then continued running. "Bastard! You really want to die," shouted someone furiously. Lin Feng was playing with them. But again, Lin Feng turned around and released an infinite amount of sword qi. They suddenly all looked desperate. If Lin Feng's sword qi reached them, they'd die. Boom boom boom. Die, they all released a terrifying strength. However, Lin Feng turned into a sword using his human sword fusion. Slashing sound spread in the air as two corpses fell from the sky. Arg, the others were going insane. Surprisingly, Lin Feng had already killed 4 of them. Just as they turned around to face Lin Feng again, Lin Feng's sword qi disappeared. A mountain appeared in Lin Feng's hand which shot out at them. Die. Bzzz, boom boom boom. Lin Feng used his Tian Xian treasure. Many people who were too close were immediately crushed alive. Lin Feng glanced at the enemies, only 2 were left. He recalled his Tian Xian meteorite and stood there. He looked like a god despising those strong cultivators. You still want to kill me, but can you? Said Lin Feng. Lin Feng. You're Lin Feng, said someone staring at Lin Feng. Demon Seal Stone, Blood Sword, that meteorite which looked like a precious treasure from Tianxian, that person had to be Lin Feng. Lin Feng was already famous in Ganyu. He had demon seal stones, he loved swords, he was a member of Tianxian. All those things weren't a secret anymore. It was easy to guess that he was just wearing a mask. You just found that out. It's too late now. Lin Feng jumped forwards with his gigantic mountain in hand. The two enemies ran backwards. Lin Feng threw his meteorite at them. The strength of the earth and sky rolled in the air and chased those people. A terrifying mountain fell down onto one of the enemies' back and crushed them to death as blood splashed everywhere. One strike, one death. In a flash, Lin Feng recalled the meteorite back to his hand and it disappeared. Lin Feng had killed all of his opponents but one now. The last opponent started running like a madman. Lin Feng had killed so many people in the blink of an eye. If he didn't manage to escape, he would definitely die. He used his Xiaoyao agility technique. He was running so fast that the wind buffeted against his body. And where do you think you're going? Shouted Lin Feng loudly, startling his opponent. He had been chasing Lin Feng the whole time and now he was being chased. What a coward. Die. Lin Feng released a terrifying fire energy from his fist which turned black. Then their fists collided. Boom. As their fists collided, the strong cultivator gave a horrible shriek. Lin Feng crushed his fist and continued on to crash into his chest. Lin Feng had just killed the last one. Lin Feng was still standing in the air. Xiaoyao sect, the meeting. Lin Feng continued running. He understood what was happening in Ganyu. When he was in Shuiyu, his teacher had gone and killed people in Shengong. Shengong, Jade Heaven and the East Sea Dragon Palace had joined hands and went to Tianqi. When that didn't go their way they called the big sects from the Ganyu region with the sole goal of destroying Tianqi. Lin Feng wasn't surprised that all of Ganyu wanted to destroy Tianqi. Lin Feng didn't stop. After he guessed about the meeting, he headed straight for Ahsoka. Tianqi was good to him, he couldn't let them down now. Ahsoka was in the center of the Ganyu region, so bringing together all those sects was most convenient. The East Sea Dragon Palace, Jade Heaven, Shengong, the Nine Cloud Sword sect, the Xiaoyao sect and so on were already there. There were so many Zun cultivators there as well as countless numbers of Tian-level cultivators. Many people were leaving as a group of people arrived. Their leader was wearing white clothes and looked both rich and handsome. A beautiful woman stood by him. Master Tian Lin, the members of the Xiaoyao sect greeted him politely and respectfully. Patriarch. Long time no see. Said the young man in white clothes smiling indifferently. Even when faced the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, he still acted proud as if he were the best in the world. Indeed, long time no see. I wouldn't have thought that you'd come to the Ganyu region. It's an honor to see you again, said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect smiling. Members of the Xiaoyao sect were surprised. Who was this man that was respected by even the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect? His social status must be very high. Patriarch, you're too polite. I'm not the only one who came to Ganyu. I heard that an emperor's treasure has been found and that many influential people had come to practice cultivation, said Tian Lin. What Tian Lin meant was that things were not going to happen smoothly. Chapter 9-10, Qiong Qi's Abnormal Behavior. Tian Lin, you're incredible. Even I, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, feel so small compared to people like you. It's incredible to see such geniuses, said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect smiling. He understood that geniuses needed to leave their nests to become stronger. They all left for better places at some point before they became stronger. Geniuses were people who had incredible abilities. They had to fight wars and struggle through hardships to become stronger. Something was happening in Ganyu. A treasure had been found, so it had attracted lots of very strong cultivators. Those geniuses were all coming to Ganyu to fight Lin Feng. This seemed perfectly normal to almost everyone. The war was going to be fierce this time. At that moment, the person who had gone to pick him up avoided looking at him. This intrigued Tian Lin. When is my beast arriving? That person pulled a long face. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect said coldly, "Speak." Prince Tian Lin, when I realized that they weren't coming back, I sent someone to check if everything was alright and they found that everyone died. What? Tian Lin frowned. So many strong cultivators lost against a cultivator of the first Tian Qi layer. What happened? Asked the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. A bunch of trash. Prince Tian Lin, I'll send people personally to bring you back that Qiong Qi. He must be gone already. If I meet him again, I will kill him personally. If I don't see again, he can consider himself lucky. It's unfortunate though, I really wanted that ancient wild beast, said Tian Lin annoyed. Somewhere else, at that same moment, Lin Feng arrived in Ahsoka. It was in the central part of Ganyu where wars never took place and where strong cultivators gathered. Many influential groups often met there. Lin Feng checked a map. He was still getting used to its geography. He also heard a few things about the meeting and recent news in town. He realized that everyone was talking about him. He had unknowingly become famous in Ganyu. Everybody was astonished by what happened in Xueyu and by the fact that 3 Zun cultivators were killed. Lin Feng also found that some people knew that he wasn't in Xueyu anymore, which was actually a relief for him. He wanted Xueyu to experience some peace. According to some rumors, he was in Tian Qi because he was afraid and needed Tian Qi's protection. Some other people said that he was probably hiding somewhere to practice cultivation and that he would come out only after becoming stronger, then he could get his revenge. Very few people thought that he had come to Ahsoka. That would simply be too audacious. So many powerful people were there to plan an attack against Tian Qi, after all. There was a trading market in Ahsoka, larger than any others he had seen before. Lin Feng was walking through the market wearing his yellow mask. He still looked fragile and sick. Roar! Lin Feng walked past a vendor's booth and Qiong Qi roared loudly. Lin Feng immediately lowered his head and went to that vendor's booth. Qiong Qi had roared, so that meant there was something interesting there. There was something that shone like a jade stone. It was smooth and round and it was glowing. "Sir, are you interested in that deployment spirit jade?" asked that street vendor when he saw Qiong Qi's reaction to it. Qiong Qi even put its claws on the item and grabbed it. "You're lucky that your beast could recognize the item," said the owner smiling. Lin Feng lowered his head and looked at the item. He asked, "What does it cost?" "It's a very, very precious item. Its deployment and sealing powers are incredible and work for a long time," explained the owner. He then continued, "I would want 2 fire intent crystals for it." "No problem." Lin Feng took the item and took out 2 fire intent crystals in exchange. The owner was surprised at how rich Lin Feng was. Lin Feng continued walking and saw many items but nothing interesting. Qiong Qi told Lin Feng that since he was traveling with Lin Feng, he also needed to protect him. Qiong Qi seemed to mean that he needed items from the market to fabricate precious treasures to protect Lin Feng. Lin Feng was skeptical but bought everything Qiong Qi wanted. He couldn't do much more. He was rich with intent crystals, so it wasn't a problem. Sniff sniff. Qiong Qi stopped and grabbed the bottom of Lin Feng's trousers with its mouth. Lin Feng had told him not to speak, instead to find a way that doesn't draw other people's attention. Lin Feng looked at Qiong Qi. Each time it wanted something, it did that. Did Qiong Qi find an extremely powerful item? Qiong Qi looked in one direction. There was a vendor's booth where there were skills and techniques, Tian-level skills which made Lin Feng curious. Lin Feng looked at Qiong Qi. he didn't understand. Did Xiong-Chi want to learn new skills? Xiong-Chi walked towards a picture scroll. It was a white picture scroll with nothing on it. Why was it with other Tian-level skills? Your beast is smart. Surprisingly, it saw that picture scroll, said the street vendor smiling. He looked at Lin Feng and said, even though there's nothing on that picture scroll, it is absolutely something special. Weapons, water, fire, anything, that scroll is an extremely precious weapon, but I've never heard of how strong cultivators use it. Even if it's powerful, there's nothing on it. It's a piece of paper, said Lin Feng while shaking his head and smiling. The old man was a good businessman. Whatever Lin Feng looked at, the man would tell him it's a great item. What do you want for it? Asked Lin Feng. It's extremely precious. I need 5 intent crystals of any type, said the old man. Lin Feng smiled wryly. That old man was full of hope. Roar. Xiong-Chi roared in order to show Lin Feng that he had to agree. Lin Feng was skeptical, but maybe Xiong-Chi had discovered something. All right. I'll buy it, said Lin Feng while nodding. He took out 5 intent crystals and gave them to the old man. Xiong-Chi immediately grabbed it and looked at it. But there was nothing on it. Lin Feng didn't understand and was annoyed. Even though intent crystals weren't that precious, he didn't want to waste them either. Chapter 9:11, The Precious Picture. After they left the market, Lin Feng asked Xiong-Chi, why did you want that scroll? How could you understand? Replied Xiong-Chi mockingly, which made Lin Feng feel vexed. Roar. Xiong-Chi started roaring and grabbed the scroll from Lin Feng's hands. It then put it on the ground. Its eyes were twinkling. Lin Feng looked at Xiong-Chi but didn't say anything. Could that scroll really be special? That fire chi is incredible, that's why it drew my attention, said Xiong-Chi examining the scroll. It said to Lin Feng, use fire to burn it. Even though your fire is extremely weak, it can only help. Since you criticized me, you can do it yourself, said Lin Feng. Even though he had turned into an animal, Xiong-Chi hadn't changed. If I recover someday, I'll be able to spit fire at you and kill you instantly, said Xiong-Chi proudly. When he realized Lin Feng was ignoring him, its tone of speech changed and he said, but now I can't do anything because my powers are restrained. You understand that the picture scroll contains incredible secrets. If you don't want to know exactly what, then forget it. You're so stubborn, said Lin Feng frowning, but he didn't forget that Xiong-Chi was Yan Di. Lin Feng crouched down and put his hand on the empty picture scroll. He then released fire. His fire was scorching hot and dazzling. He released as much as he could, however, nothing happened. The old man had actually told him that it was difficult to know how to activate that scroll. No use. You can't be wrong though, said Lin Feng. He was starting to get more curious. You're the useless one, said Xiong-Chi to Lin Feng. Then, he put his claws on Lin Feng's hand and made Lin Feng's hand move as if he was drawing something. Lin Feng clearly sensed something. It was as if he was drawing some mysterious marks and his fire became even more intense. That empty scroll was suddenly glowing like fire. Lin Feng suddenly moved his hand back. It was scorching hot. So hot, thought Lin Feng. He knew the Cosmos Burning Sun technique, he understood fire intent quite well. He was more talented with fire than most fire cultivators. However, after touching the empty scroll, he actually feared burning himself. Lin Feng and Xiong-Chi stared at the picture scroll. It started burning but not entirely, only piece by piece. The marks they had just drawn were filled with fire strength. What a terrifying fire strength, sighed Lin Feng. As expected. How could I be wrong, said Xiong-Chi proudly and arrogantly. He looked very satisfied. The fire burnt for a long time until only the ravine-like marks were left. It's a map. Lin Feng had just realized what it was. Ahsoka. Lin Feng looked at that map. He also took out another map and looked for Ahsoka on it. Both maps were very similar, so it meant that that fire map was indeed Ahsoka. Even though they looked similar, they were not entirely the same. The map he had bought before was a standard map of what Ahsoka currently looked like. The fire map was different. It was a map of what Ahsoka looked like a very, very long time ago. If Cheong-Chi hadn't found that map, Lin Feng would have never been able to find it. The initial owner of that map was probably extremely strong, otherwise, the fire on it wouldn't be that hot, whispered Lin Feng. You're ignorant, but keep talking shit, said Cheong-Chi arrogantly, glancing at Lin Feng in a despising way. He was making fun of Lin Feng again. But Cheong-Chi saw that Lin Feng was annoyed and said, that picture scroll was created 300 years ago. It is made out of a kind of leather which itself was made out of a very strong fire beast skin. It was probably a Zune-level beast. Even if a weak abstruse fire energy was used on it, it would be impossible to find out its secret. That's why nobody found its use for such a long time. The one who created the map apparently wanted to find an extremely strong fire cultivator whose level wouldn't be too far from his. What you mean to say is that the picture scroll contains a precious fire item. Lin Feng understood things quite well. Cheong-Chi was also extremely strong, so he could guess people and beasts' cultivation levels. Lin Feng lowered his head and looked at the map. As expected, that map was showing a mysterious place. The one who drew the map was telling the reader to go there. Bullshit again. If the one who drew the map didn't want people to find a secret, why would he have drawn the map? All that I hope is that the precious item is a fire type 1, said Cheong-Chi. Cheong-Chi was the Flame Emperor, only fire could help him get back his strength. Fire, whispered Lin Feng. Cheong-Chi glanced at Lin Feng and said in a despising way, you understand nothing. You don't know what real fire is. Fire is infinitely powerful, even though your Cosmos Sun skill is not bad, it is still lacking. Against real fire skills, you'll burn to ashes in the blink of an eye. Lin Feng was surprised. Lin Feng didn't understand as much as Cheong-Chi, but was he really that weak? What did it mean to be a real fire cultivator? Hurry up and take the map. We're going to that place, said Cheong-Chi impatiently. He needed real fire. Lin Feng put the map away and said to Cheong-Chi, let's go back. Roar. Cheong-Chi said to Lin Feng, what do you mean? Why now? We're not done with my business, said Lin Feng indifferently. Roar. Cheong-Chi showed his teeth to Lin Feng. Lin Feng punched Cheong-Chi and said, even though you're an emperor, I am your master right now. Don't bare your teeth at me. Lin Feng then headed for the city center. Cheong-Chi was proud and wanted nothing more than to get back his power. Lin Feng was aware of that and wary of it. Roar. Cheong-Chi was really angry. Lin Feng still didn't clearly understand the purpose of the meeting. But he knew he didn't have time to go treasure hunting with Cheong-Chi. A strong cultivator had hidden a treasure somewhere a few hundred years ago, so it probably wasn't that easy to find. Lin Feng was more concerned about Tian-Chi. Lin Feng arrived in the city center of Ahsoka where people were gathering for the Great Sect meeting. Lin Feng found out that many extremely strong cultivators had come just for this meeting. Cultivators of the first Tian-Chi layer were insects in the middle of this crowd. A majority were cultivators at the top of the Tian-Chi layer, which made Lin Feng worry even more. Chapter 9:12, Ahsoka Mountain. There was a mountain in Ahsoka which used to be considered a holy place in ancient times, but later on, it gradually became a normal place where cultivators who were not so strong went. The Ahsoka Mountain was vast, as big as a small town. This was where the meeting would be held. There were 3 peaks which symbolized a tripartite balance of power. Between those 3 peaks was a huge flatland that was a few hundred kilometers wide. It was perfect for a large meeting. There were 3 more days until the Great Sect meeting started. After Lin Feng figured all of this out, he went to Asoka Mountain but decided not to talk much. Now and then, he'd go to a bar and drink some alcohol. Once in a while, people would look at Cheong-chi enviously. In the evening, the lightened streets of Asoka Mountain were calm and peaceful. Many people had taken refuge around and on the three peaks to practice cultivation alone. Sometimes, there were also groups of people taking a stroll. Lin Feng, Cheong-chi and Xue Linglong were there. Cheong-chi was unhappily following Lin Feng and would sometimes roar. Xue Linglong was always happy to be on Lin Feng's shoulder. There was a large stage that had been set up. Lin Feng could imagine Jade Heaven as well as the East Sea Dragon Palace and Shinggong's people plotting against Tian-chi. Lin Feng asked Cheong-chi, couldn't we use a deployment technique with the mysterious marks? Idiot. There are so many people practicing cultivation here. Even though I can carve marks without making any sound, I need abstruse crystals and the chi from the abstruse crystals would definitely draw people's attention. Do you think all those people are as stupid as you? Lin Feng seemed thoughtful. Cheong-chi was right, if they used abstruse crystals, Zun cultivators would definitely smell it and they would be doomed. But if I used flame energy to carve marks, even Zun cultivators wouldn't be able to smell it. Cheong-chi raised his head and sighed. But Lin Feng smiled and said, "Your Yen Di. That should be a piece of cake for you, right?" Cheong-chi looked even prouder. "I can do that for you, but first you need to come with us to the secret place on the map. We need to see if there is something I could use there." Damn animal, thought Lin Feng, but he said, "All right, but we're in a hurry now so we need to do that here and then we can go treasure hunting." Cheong-chi looked at Lin Feng and said, "All right, but if you try to fool me, you'll die." "Don't worry, I will never try to fool you," Lin Feng said. They went onto the stage and Lin Feng took out some abstruse crystals from his ring and gave them to Cheong-chi. He needed Cheong-chi to ruin this great sect meeting. "Cheong-chi," said Lin Feng. Some people were coming and one of them was wearing a strange robe. Half of it looked like it was made of fire and the other half of ice. That person looked at Cheong-chi but Cheong-chi lowered his head and continued walking. Lin Feng looked at that young man with curiosity. Another extremely powerful young man. He was young and as strong as the young man in white clothes he had seen last time, the third Tian-chi layer. The other young people with him were much younger but none of them had a level inferior to the Tian-chi layer. After they disappeared, Cheong-chi whispered, "That young man is extremely strong, if you ever encounter him, be very careful of his fire. Even worse, it's mixed with ice." Cheong-chi was actually praising that young man. He reminded Lin Feng of Lin Qian who had both an ice and fire soul. Too bad that Lin Qian was so proud. "All right, can we get going?" asked Lin Feng. Cheong-chi nodded and slowly lowered his head. There was no chi and nobody could see him or smell his energies. Although Lin Feng trusted him, he was worried that people could discover Cheong-chi. Time passed slowly as Lin Feng released his godly awareness and scouted the surroundings. At the beginning, he could see Cheong-chi but after a few minutes, he couldn't. Lin Feng was surprised. Could Cheong-chi hide that well? Lin Feng felt even more relieved. Lin Feng hid in a dark place in order to not draw attention. A long time passed and Lin Feng opened his eyes. Cheong-chi came to him looking satisfied. "Are you done?" asked Lin Feng. "Bullshit. When I do something, I always succeed. When I get back to my normal state, I will show you what it means to be an emperor," said Cheong-chi, which made Lin Feng smile. "All right. We're done so let's go now," said Cheong-chi. "All right. Let's compare the two maps first," said Lin Feng while taking out the two maps. One could clearly see the paths on the new map but the other one was very old and blurry, so comparing both maps was the best way to find the target destination. "We need to find a mountain range," said Cheong-chi. There were a few mountain ranges in Asoka. However, Lin Feng couldn't find the one on the map. Strange, whispered Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't find it and Xiong Qi found it strange too. Look, here, said Xiong Qi pointing at place on the old map. Then, he pointed to Asoka Mountain on the new map and they looked alike. It seemed like the treasure was in Asoka Mountain. However, there were 3 mountains in Asoka Mountain, but the area on the old map seemed gigantic. Could it be that the Asoka Mountains have changed in the past 300 years, that you're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel? We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.